Oh, shit. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness.
Where the hell is the fucking Hall of Fame?
Get up, come on, get down with the sickness.
How dare you say such things about a widow?
Does she eat the corpse?
Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Open up your head and let it flow into me. I can see inside you the sickness is rising.
I think he's some kind of darky.
Seems that all that was good has died.
Hey, living in my coattail.
Oh no, the world is a scary place.
Quiet down on the Christmas show, for fuck's sake!
Now that you've woken up the demon in me.
Whose idea was this?
Quiet up! Come on, get down with the sickness.
Hello?
Mother, get up. Come on, get down with the sickness. You
Sit on my face.
fucker, get up.
Go, get it.
Open up your head and let it flow into me. Why can't you just fuck up the
That's it, you. He got out.
Here it comes. Get ready to die. Get ready to fuckers.
Die.
All right, the Saturday night's main event from 1986, January 4th, 1986 to be exact, head-to-head with the Tokyo Dome. But that would have been quite the battle right there. Oh, no, the Hogan, it was they were in Florida, so they had a bunch of beach-related vignettes, actually at a pool.
Water slide, yeah.
Yeah. Hogan was making protein shakes to prepare for a bout with Terry Funk. That's right. Hulk Hogan and Terry fucking Funk. It's going to be the main event on the show. And he gave some to Gene Okerlund, who proceeded to begin flexing. Vince opened up.
And then Roddy Piper was spying on hillbillies through binoculars.
And we had Vince opening up the show, that being Vince McMahon. Although you would never know that because he actually said the word wrestling. It was shocking. Then Jesse Ventura announced that he was going to be wrestling tonight, and so he wasn't going to leave Vince alone. Much like on this show, that would be a disaster. So, Bobby Heenan was replacing him.
He was replacing the body with the brain, he said.
Yeah.
It was a simple but great line.
We had Piper and Orton do a promo. By the way, Bob Orton, everybody. Inconceivable this man is Randy's father.
Isn't it, though?
It's ridiculous. So, yeah. Then we had the match. And what a match it was to open up Saturday night's main event on January 4th, 1986.
It was Roddy Piper, Cowboy Bob Orton, and Jesse Ventura against Hillbilly Jim, Uncle Elmer, and Cousin Luke.
Boy, was this something else. Jesse Ventura, at least in 1986, was horrendous.
I don't know if I've ever... This may actually be the first wrestling I've ever seen him do.
Hopefully the last.
Quite possibly the last. And he was very, very horrible, and yet worlds better than Uncle Elmer.
Well, I guess.
Yes.
I guess.
Yes.
All I know is there were a lot of superstar Billy Graham ripoffs, including Ventura and Hulk Hogan.
Sure.
Hulk Hogan worked fucking circles around Jesse Ventura on this show.
Undoubtedly.
Hulk Hogan was Ric Flair in his prime compared to Jesse Ventura on this show. So they had an awful six-man. In the middle of this, we had a line by Bobby Heenan, which 24 years later I still can't fathom. He said the hillbillies were being beaten down. And he throws out the line, I love it when them hillbillies are on their knees. That's when they look the best to me.
He said this.
Huh.
That's the exact words.
Side of Heenan I've never seen before.
Nor expected.
Not really, no.
Did not see that coming.
And then Orton hit Luke with his cast, and Piper put him in what today would be described as a rear naked choke, the sleeper hold for the submission, and this was lame.
So something else is what I wrote down. It was, well, Piper and Orton are good. Jesse sucks. Uncle Elmer is ungodly horrible. Hillbilly Jim was Hillbilly Jim. And Cousin Luke appeared to be a bland but more or less competent person. So there you go.
Now, this was saved by Jesse Ventura returning the commentary and saying, and I quote, "I thought I was just outstanding in the ring."
He was actually out when he was not wrestling. He was the man on the show.
Yeah, his
He had a
promos.
lot of good stuff to say. He pointed out he was the only announcer in sports who would back up his words. You would never see Vin Scully step up in the batter's box and take a 95-mile-an-hour pitch. You never see Brent Musburger put on football pads and try to tackle someone, but here he was getting in the ring and backing up what he said.
His commentary was as great as his wrestling was horrible.
Yes.
And it was quite horrible. We had JYD stripping and branding Jimmy Hart. This was a replay segment, and so Hart had demanded revenge in a water slide challenge. Wrestling was so much better back then.
This is something you may have seen in the halcyon days of OVW, but nowhere else on Earth this decade. The water slide challenge.
Yeah.
There was a water slide. They started at the top. First one to the bottom wins.
Yeah. And JYD won. Jesse Ventura accused him of cheating.
Yes.
And then they just moved on.
And then he moved on to interview Terry Funk, who was at poolside watching the water slide challenge.
He was 41 years old here, and he looked nothing like he did at the Bash 99, which we just watched a couple of weeks ago, when he was in phenomenal shape. He was fat. He was white. He was flabby. He was a different man.
It was ironic because he mentioned this was right after Hulk Hogan had been on Sports Illustrated on the cover, so he said he wanted to be the next man on Sports Illustrated, so he needed a good tan.
Well, he
had some work to do.
Sure. We had clips of him hitting Hogan with a cattle prod for the DQ in what was described on screen as Winter 1985. That's what it said.
Yes.
We got the rematch here tonight. Hogan vowed revenge and said JYD would be in his corner as backup. They had the match. Looking at this match with 2009 eyes, I gave this match 3 stars. I thought Hogan was completely competent. I thought Funk did a great job carrying him. They had a spot I've actually never seen before in my entire life.
Is it the drop down?
Yeah, Funk did a drop down, and Hogan was hitting the ropes and jumping over him every time. But instead of jumping over him, he stepped on his back repeatedly.
Yeah, just over and over again.
Yeah.
Like 4 times in a row. I can't believe no one would have stolen that.
No. Hogan was phenomenally over. He hit an axe fucking bomber, which is his big lariat.
For the win.
A big elbow drop, but that was not the end.
I'm sorry.
There was more to come. Funk choked him with tape behind the ref's back, hit the big pile driver. Hogan kicked out. Eventually he hulked up, big boot, went to suplex him inside, but Hart hit him with a branding iron. He still got his foot on the ropes. They did everything they could to make you think that Terry Funk might actually beat Hulk Hogan. But then Hogan took his head off with a second axe bomber for the pin. This match was totally fine.
Sure.
Hulk Hogan was a totally fine professional wrestler in it.
The only knock I would have on Hogan here was this was before the trademark red and yellow. He had a Hulkamania shirt on, but when they showed clips of him earlier, he was wearing all white trunks, knee pads, and boots. Here he was wearing like powder blue trunks and boots with red knee pads, and it was fugly. The match was really good, and anything that has an axe bomber is automatically a win. And I also want to note, for the record, in 1986, they were describing Terry Funk as middle-aged and crazy.
Yeah.
They were still using that line when he came back with Cactus Jack in the late 90s.
Yeah.
Amazing.
George Steele and Lou Albano were in a pool. This was goofy.
George Steele was screaming down a slide that may have been 8 feet long.
So Jesse interviewed Randy and Liz, and Elizabeth was there cowering and looking at Randy and then looking away and looking at him and looking away, and I'm thinking, why is she so scared? What's going on here? And Randy then alerted us that he was going to teach her how to swim, and he proceeded to shove her. She took a bump off something high and fell way down into the water, and she landed in the water with a big splash, at which point Jesse Ventura went, ah! And he laughed uproariously.
Yes.
This was awesome.
Back when heels were fun.
Yeah.
Back when heels were awesome men.
Yes.
Now they all suck. But yes, as you have noted many times, this is a great spot because at the end it's somebody jumping into a pool, but they always act like it's traumatic.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon, when they went back to the arena, actually said, I'm not making this up, he said, she could have drowned.
Yeah.
Liz fell screaming into this pool. It was as far as jumps in a pool go, it was pretty high, maybe 10 feet or so. But then she surfaced. She was breathing. She was swimming. She was fine. Vince was concerned she may have drowned.
We had Randy Savage and George Steele, who hit on Elizabeth before the match. Actually, he sniffed her, is what he did.
That's true.
This was more an angle than a match. Steele was chasing him all over and sniffing Elizabeth. And then finally he got distracted, and Savage hit him with one flying axe handle and pinned him. Great finish.
When I look back, that's my favorite part of the show, is actually the finishes. This is the first one. I
just talked about this with Dave. Literally, Sunday night, we were talking about matches holding up and the term holding up, and I noted that a lot of these matches we watch in the 80s, you could transport them today, and some of the guys are better at the fundamentals than a lot of the guys today. But the one difference is the finishes are so goofy. The finishes are so goofy back then.
Well, let's see what it is. Let's see what we have so far. We have a man being hit with a cast and then being knocked unconscious and put in a sleeper for the win. We have Hulk Hogan winning with the Axe Bomber, which is always great. And here we have George Steele being pinned with an axe handle.
Yeah.
And then it was followed by the Best of 1985 music video.
Yeah. Something else.
I don't even know what to say.
There was a lot of wacky things happening in WWE in 1985.
And quite frankly, this was DNA-rific in that something would flash on the screen for a second, and I would say, hey, there's a guy with, like, chocolate on his face or something. And it would cut to something else entirely. And I had no idea what was going on. There was wackiness.
Do you realize how new the concept of a music video was in 1985, though?
Well, there's a fair point. It was.
No one had any idea what they were doing.
No one knew what they were doing. There was WrestleMania. There was the first wrestling album. A lot of clips from that. There was a lot of large men's body slamming each other.
By the way, at the gym, for some reason, there's like a gold gym broadcasting network.
Yeah.
And they've been playing like...
If you see Land of a Thousand Dances by the WWF crew...
No.
That would be awesome.
Try the original video for True Blue by Madonna. It like plays every day that I go there. It's like three girls shaking their asses, and there's like a close-up of their asses. But they're shaking it like girls would shake them in the 80s. So they just kind of twist their hips. You know what I mean? And I'm like, why is this playing in 2009 at Gold's fucking Gym? But that's what this reminded me of here. We had Nikolai Volkov doing an interview about his peace match with Corporal Kirshner. A peace match, everybody. You see, there's a Mad Russian and a U.S. hero, and they're going to have a technical wrestling match with no cheating for peace.
I believe Vince announced this is following the Geneva Summit. And so in the spirit of that peace meeting, they're having the peace match between the Russian and the American hero.
A peace match.
Yes. And you know what? That legit may be the first peace match in wrestling history. We've seen grudge matches. We have seen mean guy matches. I have never seen a peace match before.
I'll tell you something else. People are going to be just gobsmacked when they hear this, but I had never actually seen Corporal Kirshner wrestle. I know that probably sounds impossible to believe.
I have, not in many years. I've forgotten how truly horrible he was.
They interviewed him to the Rocky theme, one of the Rocky themes, and I could not for the life of me figure out who to compare this man to. And it also explained why I've never seen him wrestle before. Not very memorable. I came up with Ricky Ortiz with less charisma.
Yes, that's a pretty good comparison. He's a large, handsome man who just had nothing of value to say.
No.
And a very non-military haircut, by the way.
And just he couldn't even like look in one place. He would randomly look all over the place.
It was not a good promo. And they showed clips of him on hands and knees crawling through thick grass. And then they had clips of him allegedly skydiving. It could have been anyone skydiving really, but they said it was Corporal Kirshner. And then he said he had mastered land and air. Now he's going to show his military training by going into water. And he grabbed a zip line and he screamed, USA! And he jumped into a pool.
Then we had the peace match. Volkov, by the way, is fucking so thick and just the most powerful-looking dude on the show.
Barrel-chested.
Yeah.
I would say squat, but he's 6'5" or whatever.
Malenko also refereed this match.
I think this is where I realized I think he was Dean Malenko.
He looked exactly the same, except he had more hair.
Well, it was... First you said it, and I thought you were joking. And I waited for the ref to come back on screen, and I thought, oh, yeah, it's about Dean Malenko's height, and he's got more hair, but kind of the same haircut. And then I looked at him, and he had... Well, it's Dean Malenko. He had the same posture and body language.
It was fucking Dean Malenko.
Dean Malenko. So here's Dean Malenko watching this technical wrestling match.
Oh, yeah.
The man of 1,000 holds watching the men with 5 combined holds. And Nikolai knew 4. I earlier mocked the headlock spot of Jesse and Uncle Elmer. Corporal Kirchner's headlock. Corporal Kirchner's headlock, everyone.
He is a horrible wrestler. Like, horrendous.
If we took 5 people off the street and put them in Buddy Wayne's ring and said, do a headlock, at least 3 would do better than this.
Yeah. So, they had a technical match until Volkov cheated and won with a knee drop. That was the finish.
Yes.
And then the Corporal ran nuts and beat up Sheik and Volkov. Sheik was golden on this show, as he always is.
He announced Iran #1, Russia #1, USA Haktui.
The only thing that's changed about the Iron Sheik in all these years is he's, like, out of shape and immobile now. Everything else is exactly the same.
That is true, but that change is so dramatic.
It is a very dramatic change.
He used to be a very athletic man. Now he is not.
And then the main event, or at least, well, they did differently.
The last match.
They did differently back in the day. They put the main events on first, but the final match on this program was Don Morocco and Mr. Fuji, wrestling, mind you, against Ricky Steamboat and the Junkyard Dog. Now, I've heard that Don Morocco's a really nice guy. Also heard he loves the weed. It's a rumor, everybody. But you'd think he might love the weed, watching his promo before this particular match. He appeared in no condition to perform, or at least in no condition to do much.
To speak, for sure. It was... You can't say at that point that he loved the weed because there was no more weed left to love. He appeared to have smoked it all. There was none left.
He was magnificently bad.
This man was high as a kite.
They got the heat on Dog for a while, and Steamboat got the hot tag. He looked so light, by the way. I was begging.
Yeah, Steamboat was better than Mr. Fuji and the Junkyard Dog and a stoned Don Morocco. Although, honestly, Mr. Fuji was not as horrible as I was expecting.
No, he was all right.
After watching the Elmers and the Kirchners of the world, Mr. Fuji was a short little old fat guy who would do some strikes and take some silly bumps, and for that he was fine.
And then Steamboat hit a body press on Morocco. Fuji broke it up, so the Dog got a second hot tag, and then this is what happened, everybody. I swear to God.
On the subject of wacky finishers,
Junkyard Dog gets a hot tag. He steps through the ropes. Fuji just freezes in his tracks, puts his hands to his side, stares at the Dog. The Dog grabs Fuji's head. He gives him a headbutt. Fuji falls down, and the Dog pins him.
That's what happened.
I realize that the Junkyard Dog used the headbutt regularly as a finisher, but Christ, come on now. This was absurd. So, anyway, that was the main event here. I laughed uproariously at the headlock finisher because, seriously, what the fuck else can you do? The guy pinned him with a headbutt, and a horrible one at that.
So, not the best show we have watched in 24/7. Certainly not the worst.
No.
Mostly just an hour of pure wackiness with a pretty good title match.
It is exactly what it was right there. So, I think the worst pay-per-view in years. This pay-per-view was horrible. God, this was horrible. -5! It was Jenna Maraska, everybody, the Survivor chick, and Charmel.
Great.
There you go.
I remember that match. It was bad.
It was very, very bad. I turned the corner on Impact. I don't want to say I'm crossing the line.
I made that mistake once.
Well, here's what you need to do, Vince. I know you've not done this in a long time, and God knows you've never actually done this. But do you have a copy of Death of WCW at your house?
I do. It was free.
This is what you need to do. You need to go home and read that book.
The whole thing?
Well, you should read the whole thing, as everybody should who is listening to this right now. But in particular, you need to read 1999 and 2000. 1998 would probably be good, too, but particularly 1999 and 2000. The new DVD came out, The Rise and Fall of WCW, and I watched it the other night. And to prepare for that, I read my book for the first time. Talked about this a little bit on the Lance Storm show.
Literally the first time.
It really was the first time I've ever read the book before.
That makes sense.
Cover to cover. And Impact. I know we've said this many times, that Impact is like the worst wrestling show there's ever been. Okay? We're wrong. I know, and I know that this was a good show tonight, but even if it were a bad show, Vince, you've really got to read these chapters. WCW in 1999 and 2000, between Nitro and Thunder, I know that sometimes we look back fondly on Thunder, but you really got to read these chapters. I mean, Impact is stupid sometimes, and Impact has some bad shit on it, but looking back, nothing compares to WCW in 1999 and 2000.
Well,
I mean, nothing.
I can't say it was not Nitro or Thunder, but in the tape review this week, I watched a match from 2000 in WCW. It was Savage and Sid versus Nash and Sting. And I believe I gave it -3 stars in the newsletter. It filled me with hate.
Yeah?
It made me regret being alive. And if it was like that on a regular basis, then I would have to agree.
It's not even the wrestling. It's the angles. Here's the thing, and Dave has mentioned this as well. This period was so bad that I think a lot of people have blocked a lot of it out of their minds.
That's probably true.
I mean, when I looked back and actually read this stuff, it started coming back to me, and I actually feel bad for a lot of the rants that I've cut on TNA over the years. Now, don't get me wrong.
TNA still sucks.
TNA, well, not tonight it didn't.
No, in the general term.
TNA, I mean, I still stand by the statement that with WCW, they at least did reach a peak. They, at one point, were the biggest wrestling company in the entire history of the world before they crashed and burned. TNA has never achieved that, and they never will. I mean, they never will. Vince McMahon could die, and WWE could have all sorts of problems. It will never, I don't think it's possible that TNA will ever, beat WWE in a wrestling war. It's just, times have changed, things are different. It's just realistically not going to happen. Now, with that said, all the things I've said about this being the worst television show there's ever been, and I will even say this, I have buried Vince Russo a lot, and Vince Russo still does some stupid things. He actually didn't on this show. This was a great show this evening. But compared to, 1999 and 2000, Vince Russo is Sam Mushnick. He's one of the great bookers of all time. I mean, when you really look at tonight's show and compare it to that 1999-2000 period when he was on his own in WCW, it's not even the same man. I mean, I will say he has learned something in the last decade.
Can you name one particular angle or feud or program or match that stands out as being terribly, terribly terrible?
Everything he did during that period. There was I can't even remember all of this, but there was a convoluted angle involving Sid and Nash where I think the title had been taken away from, maybe it was Ric Flair, I don't remember, but I'm trying to remember this off the top of my head. It was so fucking convoluted. It was something like Sid had to beat a Harris twin, and if he beat the Harris twin, he would get a match with Nash for the vacant title. But if the Harris twin won, Nash would just be given the title.
I vaguely recall that.
And then, he beat the Harris twin, but then during the break, they revealed it was the wrong Harris twin.
I do remember that.
So then later he had to come back and beat the Harris. This whole thing was just like, and then there was all the shit where, Bagwell. This is what I brought up with Lance today. The camera came upon Bagwell and somebody else going over their spots backstage, and Bagwell's like, "So you're gonna win 1, 2, 3?" The other guy goes, "Yeah, that's what the script said."
That's the finish.
That's the finish they gave me, or something like that. And then, of course, in the ring, Bagwell holds on tight and actually gets the pin. And this shit was so fucking horrible.
I do recall that.
This shit was so horrible. And keep in mind all the stuff that was actually cut out of this book. Like, I think if you actually got the Figure 4s and Observers from 1998, 1999, and 2000, your mind would just boggle at the crap that was actually put on television every week. So, I had that epiphany recently, and I will write more about it in the newsletter this coming week, but that was what I got out of this WCW DVD and reading my book again, when I actually looked back and went, TNA really isn't all that bad. I kind of feel a little bit bad for all the things I've said over the years, but... Mid-Atlantic Wrestling, January 6, 1982. Wow, that show sucked. Should we just start with it now and get it over with?
I suppose.
This was a bad professional wrestling television show.
That is undoubtedly true.
Although there was some stuff on it that I thought was really quite great. But in general, just badness as far as the eye can see.
It was, I think, 49 minutes technically?
It was 49 minutes.
It felt like at least 3 hours?
Oh, yeah. It was 49 minutes going on, 3 days. There was some badass wrestling, and I'm not saying that in a good way. And there was, quite frankly, there was Billy Robinson. That's about the only thing I can say now that I look back on this. Now, there were some good things. It did open up with Sandy.
I was going to say there was Jimmy Valiant.
Okay, now that I'm looking back, there was more good than bad, as I'm starting to think here.
No, I can't say that.
No, there is, because I found some facts. I found some facts that can make this show better. Yeah. Anyway, Sandy Scott announced some new talent coming to the area, including Terry Taylor. This, of course, was pre-fucking up shit in TNA and pre-Red Rooster. He actually looked like a young Shawn Michaels.
Had the same hairdo.
Yeah, he said he couldn't wait to meet all the fans and give autographs to anyone who wanted them.
It was every generic babyface promo ever. He was excited about being part of the competition, but he is most excited about going to all the towns and meeting fans and signing autographs. Awesome.
So then, up came Sergeant Slaughter, ranting and raving about the Camel Clutch Challenge.
Or the Cobra Clutch Challenge.
Whichever one. Now, we started watching the show. We're not watching it every week, so we got to piece things together.
Let me say it again. We are not watching this every week. Don't ask. What
appeared to happen was he put somebody in the Cobra Clutch, and basically if anybody broke free, they won $1,000 that he'd put up. Now, I believe he put Blackjack Mulligan Jr. in the hold, and I guess Mulligan Jr. escaped or something.
Over the course of the show, I figured out the time expired.
Well, no. Slaughter was saying the time expired and he wanted his money back, but Mulligan Jr. and his lawyers had put an injunction on the money, which makes me think he must have broken free and Slaughter cried shenanigans and wanted his money back.
Knowing that Slaughter was the heel, that could be true too, but since they did not just give him the money back, or I assume, based on what we heard, that maybe Mulligan broke free as the time expired, and Slaughter was claiming the clock was up?
Or maybe Blackjack Mulligan Jr. issued a challenge, and Slaughter was scared, so he claimed the time limit was up. Regardless, if anybody knows, go ahead and email me. Quite frankly, we really don't give a shit.
I take it back. Don't email. We don't care.
No, I want to at least know for historical purposes, but we probably aren't going to read the emails on the air. But just if you know, let us know what happened here. But anyway, as he was ranting, Sandy Scott said, and I quote, "Goodbye," as dismissively as possible. That's what we're missing nowadays is authority figures that just, they tell it like it is.
Yes, he said goodbye. There were several seconds of pause. Slaughter yammered a bit, and Sandy Scott said, "Hey, do you want to lose that U.S. title?"
Yeah.
And Slaughter left. And then Bob Caudle and David Crockett talked about how happy they were to have a good, strong, solid authority figure like this. Yeah.
Doug Vines And Mike Miller, presumably Mean Mike Miller,
I believe so.
who was actually around the Northwest until just recently, actually. May still be. I just remember seeing him several years back. But Doug Vines and Mike Miller against Blackjack Mulligan Jr. and Jake Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Vinny. Explain this match to everybody.
Well, Jake Roberts here was a clean-cut, the clean-cut, handsome, happy baby face.
Yeah.
With the shorter haircut and the big mustache and the permanent grin. And he had wrestling trunks and boots and knee pads on, and he was running the ropes and doing leapfrogs and arm drags and basically being the wackiest babyface of all time.
Yeah.
And Blackjack Mulligan Jr. was the young Barry Windham. Surprise, surprise, he was awesome. Really? At least as far as what he did and his athleticism and whatnot. And they proceeded to wrestle for about 100 years.
Yeah, this actually, I'd have to, well, here's what I discovered. I had to do some research here, because Doug Vines, you know what I mean? Doug Vines. Now, I've never heard of Doug Vines before. He went on to a career of obscurity, apparently. And upon investigating him to find out if this was my fault or if just this is Doug Vines, I investigated Doug, and this is a fact that I discovered about him. Number one, it's not my fault. Based on the career recap that I found of Doug Vines, I'm far from the only person in the world who's never heard of him. But Doug Vines formed a tag team with Jeff Sword, known as the Devil's Duo, managed by Izzy Slapowitz.
See, that would have been better than just Doug Vines and Mike Miller.
Doug Vines.
The Devil's Duo, actually. It's a great name.
I'm wondering if this was the same Mike Miller. I know that the Mike Miller in question was working in Portland around this time.
I have not seen that Mike Miller in many a day, but he was a mainstay in the old Portland wrestling.
And Mid-Atlantic is on the other side of the country, so maybe
far away.
Came in to do some jobs. Anybody who knows, let me know about this one as well.
I'm fairly certain that it was the same Mike Miller.
Anyway, the one thing I'll say about Vines is he could work, and he hit the ropes like Masato Yoshino. Maybe not quite that fast, but he fucking hit the ropes. Probably harder and faster than anyone on this entire show. So, got to give credit to the guy for that. Mulligan and Jake won. Then we had Billy Robinson against Keith Larson. Lord Al Hayes did commentary. He was a manager. This was awesome because Robinson did a neck breaker, and I think it was Crockett asked... He asked Hayes, what was that move? A neckbreaker, mind you. So then Hayes explains it's a half-twisting chancery. All right. Anyway, there was they did an amateur, tons of amateur shit in this match, and there were spots where Keith Larson was out-wrestling Billy Robinson. That was fucking hilarious. So Billy did a bunch of moves. He won. He was so far ahead of his time. I would be, if you could take Billy Robinson from 1982 and put him on ECW today, wrestling William Regal, I would
money.
Yes, it would be the match of the decade.
It got off to a slow start, and if you just like holds, you would like this match, but they were just exchanging holds, showing exactly zero emotion or passion or crowd interaction at any time.
They're shooters!
They were not even shooters. They were automatons. They were going through the motions like a program machine. And I will say that towards the end there first, they did a simple Irish whip reversal on the turnbuckle, and because it was Keith Larson, he was the babyface, the crowd went nuts. I have never seen such response for an Irish whip reversal into the buckle. And then the last minute, Robinson put him away. He had a bunch of chops, and then hit this really cool twisting backbreaker thing for the finish. So the last minute was fun.
Then we had Crockett interviewing Tony Anthony and Buddy Landell.
This was also fun.
The first 10 seconds of this interview, I have no idea what was going on. Crockett, I've never seen somebody interview two men as poorly as he did for the first 10 seconds here. Like, it was like he may have been on drugs.
Like Quaaludes were the first thing I thought.
Or he hadn't slept in 6 weeks. Or he just came out of a coma. I don't know what the deal was. And then it got worse.
He threw it to Buddy Landell, and things went downhill.
Buddy Landell, wow. Buddy Landell, brown hair, as plain as can be. And certainly Tony Anthony did not help when the mic was put to him. It did pick up at the end as Crockett came out of his coma. He woke up, and then he starts asking these fucking probing questions.
Poor Landell had nothing to say about anything, and Crockett wouldn't leave him alone.
Yeah, it was
he
like...
just kept asking him questions.
This is not like on Raw, where, like, Todd Grisham will go up to John Cena and say, so what do you think about the pay-per-view on Sunday? And Cena will do a promo, and then Todd will look at the camera in a goofy manner. It's not like that at all. This was like, Crockett goes, so what's your plan during this match? And I think it was Tony Anthony said, well, Ole Anderson, I'm going to have to take him down and keep him grounded on the mat. And Crockett's like, now hold on a second. How are you going to take Ole Anderson down and keep him grounded on the mat? And poor Anthony's like, well, I guess we'll just have to...
He said, if I can get him down somehow, I'm going to try to keep him there.
If I can get him down somehow, I'll try and keep him there. And Landell said something like...
Landell said he's a...
They're far more experienced, and it's intimidating.
Yeah, he said it was... He hoped they didn't think he would lay down on his back like last time. He'd been training with Jake Roberts. And Crockett says, well, what have you learned? And Landell said... Sit-outs.
I got to be more aggressive.
Got to be more aggressive.
No, the best was when he said something about the experience, and Crockett's like, well, how are you going to counter all this experience? And without missing a beat, Landell just goes, brains.
This is the worst promo I ever saw.
Brains.
Especially the first 10 to 15 seconds, where all three guys were Milton from Office Space. I know you don't get that reference, Brian, but it is true.
We had Jimmy Valiant against another bleached blonde guy.
I just wrote E-Man.
I tried my damnedest to figure out who this was. Was it Michael Hayes? Was it Rip Rogers?
Emilio Charles?
Emilio Charles Jr.? I don't fucking know.
The blonde man with a black beard. Now, I will say, he was pretty good.
He wasn't bad.
He took some fun bumps.
And then Valiant just proceeded to dance the entire match and make a lot of noise.
Including when he was selling an eye rake. He was still dancing.
Yes.
This is tremendous. And he won with an elbow smash.
Jimmy Valiant's about 35 pounds today, and it's no shocker as to why. The man is a ball of energy.
Yeah.
This was great.
This is the best part of the show by leaps and bounds.
We had a Ray Stevens interview, which sucked because I would have rather have seen him work. And then Youngblood and Jake, and anyway. We had Bill White against Terry Taylor. Roddy Piper did commentary. And if you do not know any better, you would think Larry Sweeney was doing commentary. Larry Sweeney has obviously watched a shitload of Ric Flair because he has all the Ric Flair mannerisms down. But he apparently has listened to a shitload of Rowdy Roddy Piper because he has the voice and the inflections down to a T.
Speech pattern and the rhythm and stuff, yes.
Yeah, and this is not a knock on Larry Sweeney.
Hell no.
I recommend everybody do this if you want to get good. But anyway, I guess they were building up a feud between Piper and Taylor, and Piper's not putting him over, and Taylor won with an abdominal stretch, dropped into a lateral cradle, and Crockett's like, wow, that was a good finishing hold, wasn't it, Piper? And Piper's like, yeah, well, there's a counter for that. Awesome heel.
He was tremendous the whole way through. He kept saying that Terry Taylor's very impressive, not compared to me, but compared to your average wrestler, that kind of thing. And the match was fine. There was worse on this show. Piper made it much, much, much better. And then it went on. And then went to Ox Baker. Ox
Baker and Pretty Boy Fergie. I remember years...
I've never heard of him.
Can't even say years ago. About 3 years ago, Ox Baker was... we went to Cauliflower Alley, and Ox Baker was there. And suffice to say, any room Ox Baker's in, the world knows he's there.
Yes. So, he is Ox Baker all the time.
Yeah. He was Ox Baker here as well. Pretty Boy Fergie was... whatever the hell he was.
I don't know. Frankly, he was not that pretty.
They vowed to hurt someone real bad.
Yes.
And the best part of this was Ox Baker. Besides just being Ox Baker, he had a shirt with a heart on it, and there was a fist on the heart.
It was punching it. Yes. Who knew Ox Baker had such great fashion sense?
Big Show needs a shirt with a throat on it and a hand. Know what I mean? Because he choke slams guys.
Sure.
Wow.
Yes, so Ox Baker vowed to hurt people, and he ran in a rave, and I couldn't help but notice he was making a fist with his hand and pointing with his index and pinky fingers. And Tim Flowers used to do this all the time, in the ring and backstage. And I don't know if he stole that from Ox Baker or what, but that's how he did it. And Ox talked about hurting people a lot, and he vowed to hurt more people.
And in the main event, Ole Anderson and Ivan Koloff against Tony Anthony and Buddy Landell. A main event anywhere in the country in 1982. This actually, I thought this was a pretty good match. It was surprisingly fast-paced. The guys were fucking moving. And until the finish, the key was like, the heels made the babyfaces look so fucking competitive. Like they were actually competent wrestlers, even though you knew they had zero fucking chance of winning. Like, they were in there with Buddy Landell, actually, and there was just one high spot after the other, and then he'd do a roll-up and another roll-up and a high spot, and he'd roll them up and a high spot, roll them up, quick tags. I was like, Christ, these fucking guys are moving. And it was a pretty fun little match right there, and Koloff pinned Anthony, the designated jobber, and that was that.
One thing I noticed during this, and actually throughout the show, but nowadays, when you see someone do a backdrop, they will, bend over, and the guy goes flying over the back, and they'll put their hands on their opponent's legs and push them over.
Sure.
On this show, everyone, when they did this move, kept their hands on their own knees and pushed up. And it seemed to work fine.
Yeah.
Everyone went over okay. Just a subtle little thing about how things have changed.
Well, it was better that way, because if you just put your head down, then it makes sense when you put your head down and people kick you. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Whereas nowadays, when people get kicked and when they actually do the backdrop, they perform it in completely different ways.
Fair enough.
You never see a guy bend down and put his face out but put his hands up like he's about to launch you and then he gets kicked. They always just put their fucking head down. I always thought that was so stupid. Anyway. Okay. I always did the one where as they're coming at you, you put your arm up and then you go down. You can do that both ways. So at least it's consistent. Where did I see that first? It may have been Chris Benoit, actually.
That's quite likely.
Yeah, things happen. So anyway, that's Mid-South Wrestling, everybody.
Big John Studd Cuddy promo.
Oh, yeah.
His head was huge.
Yeah.
He vowed to bust up Blackjack Mulligan. He said he had busted up the older Blackjack Mulligan, vowed to do it to the boy. And then Slaughter came on, Slaughter came on, and he talked about the Cobra Clutch Challenge some more. And then Ole and Gene Anderson came on, and Ole Cuddy, fine promo, saying that Ray Stevens had returned the belt, not because it was the right thing to do, and not because Sandy Scott had forced him, but because he was scared of what the Andersons would do if they had to come get their belts. So they finally did, and it was announced that Gene would be the advisor and Ole would be picking a new partner, so there you go. Show sucked.
Well, I've seen worse.
Well, I've seen worse wrestling shows, yes. I have not. This is the worst thing we've seen since you started watching 24/7.
This is pretty bad, yeah. I think we watched another Mid-Atlantic, if I recall correctly, because I remember starting out with Slaughter coming out and cutting a promo, but, and I remember, what else do I remember? There's something else similar on that show. But we certainly did not watch it twice, because I fucking would have remembered this debacle. That was a good one.
Well,
that was fantastic.
I guess all I can say to that is thank you.
Holding out for
It's a fair high.
A Vinny. Should have been a holding out for a Vinny. Oh, well. Either way, it's just a ridiculous concept. Seriously.
Even I agree with that.
All right, let me load up one of these right here. I may not play the whole thing because I think it's pretty long, But we're going to play a game called, well, you can name that tune, and then you can, we'll just go from there. So here you go, everybody. Name that tune, Vinny?
I have no idea.
Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste. I've been around for a long, long years. So many a man's soul is faith. And I was round when Jesus Christ had his moment of doubt and pain. Made damn sure that Pilate washed his hands and sealed his fate. Pleased to meet you. Hope you guessed my name.
Who is it?
But what's puzzling you is the nature of my game.
I don't know. Everyone listening
I stuck
knows.
around St. Petersburg when I saw it was a time for change. Killed the Tsar and his ministers. Anastasia screamed in vain. I rode a tank, held General Grant when the Blitzkrieg raged and the body sang.
Don West.
Pleased to meet
Close,
you.
I guess.
Hope you get my name.
This is the minister.
This is James fucking Mitchell.
The nature of my game.
He's fucking good.
Oh yes.
And
I watch him clean.
there's no better song for him to sing.
I actually did not listen to any of his songs. I told him we'd play some on the show, and so he sent me a bunch of them. I didn't even listen to any of them. This is the first I've heard of it. Like, I figured he was probably pretty good, because he does this for a living. But he's fucking awesome.
Introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and days. And I lay traps for troubadours who get killed before they reach my base.
How's this guy not fucking employed somewhere?
That's a great question.
It's ridiculous.
I don't know.
Oh, you get my name. Oh, yes. But what's puzzling you is the nature of my
I got more, too.
Oh my God.
Site of the last Nitro, Panama City, I believe. Already awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Jumping, what's that sound? Here she comes, full blast, top down. Hot shoe, burning down the avenue. Model city's dead, zero diesel bed. Don't you know she's coming home to me? You lose her in that chair. I got her.
this guy's too talented for wrestling.
I know.
Keep the moving parts clean. Hot shoe burning down the avenue. Got an old man coming to my bedroom. Don't you know she's coming?
You have to picture him in his Chief Mitchell outfit.
With the eyebrows waxed out to the side.
All right, everybody.
He comes a lot closer to David Lee Roth from the Guitar Player Comes Handyman.
Yeah?
That must be said.
All right, everybody. Thanks very much for listening. Head over to, I guess look for James Mitchell on Facebook and MySpace and tell him how awesome his...
For God's sake, he's in Florida, right?
That's right.
Go to his karaoke.
That's right. He's got the dates on his website, so check it out if you're in the area. Go out there and support him and let him know he's got too much talent for this business, as we know to hear on the show. So, what is this?
On the juice, big time.
Chris Benoit killed his family. Oh, God! I'm deleting this right now, everybody, but it's going to return somehow. What is wrong with people?
I don't know.
We watched some ECW from 1995 tonight, featuring Stone Cold Steve Austin, before he was Stone Cold, featuring Mikey Whipwreck, who's been a guest on the show several times and not nearly enough, and the Sandman, who's never been on this show, but not quite sure what we're waiting for.
You should put that together as soon as possible.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. So, yeah, let's start with... may as well start with ECW, since, I don't know, we usually save the best for last, but that certainly was not ECW this week. I have sparse notes. I didn't even watch the three-way, and thank God you did, because...
well, I can't say you missed the best part of the show, then.
No.
No?
Did I miss the best part of the show? I don't know. It was all horrible.
I assure you, the three-way with Mikey and Sandman and Steve Austin was better than the Bad Crew tag team match.
I realize that it's not fair to compare things in 2009 to things that were filmed in 1995. I mean, ECW was, in many ways, groundbreaking, and it set the stage for a number of different things, including many guys, the Guerreros, Benoits, etc., going on to the national stage.
Rey Mysterio?
Obviously, Vince McMahon stealing many of the concepts for the Attitude Era. But this TV show, holy shit.
It was poor.
The things people romanticize about.
Yes.
You know, I watched...
Nostalgia does strange things to people.
I watched...
And their opinions.
Well, this is a strange thing about nostalgia. Like, I watched... the other day, a bunch of Buddy Rogers. This was significantly older than this ECW TV show.
Yeah.
This was like the 1950s.
Mm-hmm.
Buddy Rogers, of course, the first Nature Boy, or the Nature Boy that Ric Flair stole the moniker from. He was the best worker of the 50s. He was an awesome heel. He introduced a lot of the things. He was a very modern worker. A lot of the things he introduced to this business are still being used today, and obviously he was a huge, huge influence on Ric Flair. I always knew that, but once I actually watched Buddy Rogers wrestle, and watched, for example, the way he stood in the ring, and the way he locked up, and the way he begged off, Ric Flair stole this fucking guy's entire act. And I was just watching this Buddy Rogers match, a couple of them actually, and... you know, obviously you're looking at a match from 1950, so you can't judge it on the same standards as today, but it's still in some ways held up. I mean, Buddy Rogers was fucking great.
Yes.
I think if you took Buddy Rogers and you put him on WWE today, he'd still be fucking great.
Oh, yeah.
He may be one of the best workers on the show.
Well, yes.
But when you look back at, like, ECW in 1995, I don't know. There was some horrendous wrestling on this show.
Yes.
Some horrendous professional wrestling. And I will say this as well, if you guys go back through, you're never going to find them, but if you happen to go on eBay and someone happens to be selling them as a rib on me, if you go back through old newsletters from 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, I was not the biggest ECW fan in the world. There was a lot of stuff I felt was massively overrated, and looking back, I feel that I was justified in those statements. This show opened up with... well, first off, I will give it some praise. It had a recap of the week prior. And looking back, I actually have no idea what happened the week prior, and I just watched this. But this recap was a million times better than the one TNA does. They actually explained all of the angles that took place the week before and what they meant. TNA throws together a 30-second video package with a bunch of shit, and that's their recap.
There are moves, men screaming.
Yeah.
This one, we had Joey Styles from 1995 explaining who had turned on who, what titles were on the line, what big match was coming up, and it all made sense. And the highlight of this that actually does warrant replaying, Bubba Ray Dudley was still doing the stuttering gimmick.
Oh, yeah.
He would say, "My name is Bubba Ray Dudley," and it would take him several tries. And there was a point where he had a microphone and he was trying to say it. My name is Buh. And I believe one of Public Enemy came up and whacked him in the head with something. And he finally got out, "My name is Bubba Ray Dudley." But as he said this, he did a perfect Nestea plunge backward bump.
Yeah.
Great comedy.
So the opener on this show was First Damian Kane and Lady Alexandra came out with the Bad Crew. And what an apropos name for this foursome here.
The Bad Crew.
Yeah.
I can't believe this happened, but I watched some very, very low-rent Nasty Boys here in the Bad Crew.
Yeah.
Like if you took the Nasty Boys and made them much, much shittier. That's what the Bad Crew would be.
We then had a million Dudleys came out. Chubby Dudley, Sign Guy Dudley, Big Dick Dudley, Dances with Dudley, and Bubba Ray Dudley.
Who appeared to be 9 years old.
Yeah.
He's
hair.
It was 14 years ago, I realized, but he was much younger.
The road has owned him.
Yes.
So they took forever. They took forever to come out and get in the ring.
To walk down the 20-foot ramp and around the ring.
I didn't fast forward into this.
Yeah.
I just waited and I waited and I waited, and finally I'm like, what the fuck is taking so long here? And, of course, shortly after I said that, the match itself actually began, at which point I was longing for the pre-match period to return.
Yeah.
Because the Bad Crew against Dances with Dudley and Bubba Ray Dudley was a poor professional wrestling match. It was a horrible match in the ring. Then they went out of the ring and hit each other very, very hard with objects. Then they went back to the ring and it became horrendous again. And then Bubba got the pin with a Bubba Bomb. They showed a replay of this, by the way, as well. And as he's going for it, he tried like 3 times and couldn't get the guy up. And then Dances with Dudley hit the ropes, clobbered him in the back, his own partner, mind you, which caused Bubba to be able to hit the power bomb. It's been a long time since I watched ECW. Perhaps there was an angle here that I did not understand, where if you hit Bubba Ray hard enough, he could execute moves. Maybe that was the...
I'm guessing here. This is speculative on my part, but I believe, it was playing off the gimmick, where if you hit him, he could talk. And if you hit him, he could hit moves.
Anyway, he hit a Bubba Bomb.
It's lost translation 14 years later.
Which was a power bomb, and got the win. And my notes read simply, this fucking sucked.
Oh, it certainly did. It certainly did. A very green Bubba Ray Dudley was far and away the best worker in this match. The Bad Crew were fucking awful. Dances with Dudley was pretty damn horrible. And the match itself, it was bad, and then as you noted, while it was bad, it was at least recognizable as a tag match. The heels got the heat on Dances with Dudley, and as they were beating him up, and then suddenly all 4 guys were just brawling on the floor for no reason. As you noted, they hit each other with stuff a bunch, and then Bubba went back to his corner, and they kept just doing a normal tag match. And then Bubba Ray Dudley got the hot tag that was so hot the Bad Crew did not notice.
Yeah.
And they turned around, and there he was, and he pinned them. This match failed.
That led us to a 3-way match for the ECW Championship with champion Mikey Whipwreck against Steve Austin and the Sandman. Now, that's what they billed it as, but it began as a singles match with Mikey Whipwreck and Steve Austin. And Mikey Whipwreck on the show, boy, does he bury himself. He talks about how horrible he was, and he explains that he was never a good wrestler and this and that and the other thing. He really was not bad here. He was he worked with Steve Austin. They did some basic chain wrestling. He took some bumps. He got thrown into the guardrail. It was totally fine. I had not seen Mikey Whipwreck wrestle in so long that I was expecting this to be a tragedy. And the tragedy did not occur until the Sandman came out. And he came out about 10 minutes into this 3-way. God knows what he was doing, aside from the obvious. He came out with a woman. He was smoking. He was drinking. He smoked and drank, and apparently had to smoke an entire cigarette and drink an entire case of beer before he even got into the ring.
The match came to a halt here.
Yeah.
As Austin just waited and waited and waited for Sandman to get in the ring. And he waited for so long that Mikey recovered and hit him with a dropkick and made a comeback.
Yeah.
It did not last.
Tell me about this battle.
Well, you saw the opening. Mikey was fine, but at the same time, it was immediately clear that Steve Austin was worlds and worlds and worlds better than anyone else on the show. And I sat there thinking to myself, I mean,
This is a revelation to you.
well, it's not so much that's a revelation, but it was just odd to think I am watching the biggest star in the history of wrestling in a bingo hall. A bingo hall.
Well, we all start somewhere.
Yeah. and many of us stay there. So they're having the match, and it's mostly fine. I do want to note that as rinky-dink and horrible as this promotion was, the ECW title then looked so much cooler than the ECW title now. And that's sad. So, Mikey and Austin had a very basic... They were doing very basic chain spots, and Mikey would get out-wrestled and get the ropes, and Austin would shake his hand or pat him on the head and totally patronize him. And then they did a bit where Mikey went for a sunset flip and pulled the tights down. At least that's what he was supposed to do, but he forgot. So Austin had to stand there for a while and pretend his tights were being pulled down. And Styles on commentary informed us that this is how Mikey had won the title in the first place. And so this caused Austin to snap. He started laying into Mikey with stomps and boots. And that's when Sandman came out. And as we noted, time just froze. And then I watched Steve Austin brawl with the Sandman. Remember earlier when I said Austin was worlds better than anyone else in the show?
Universes.
Galaxies, yes. Dimensions. Whatever Steve Austin and the Sandman were doing, they were not in the same industry at this point. You cannot compare the two. So, they had this match. It was pretty much just brawling, really, between all three guys. Mikey hit some spots. He actually hit a diving Hurricane Rana. The kind where there's a guy standing in the ring and Mikey jumps off the top rope and lands on him and hits the Rana, which is hard to do. So he's not nearly as bad as he likes to claim. That being said, he was eventually hit with a stun gun and pinned by Steve Austin, so he was out. And he was the defending champion, so there's going to be a new champion here between Steve Austin and the Sandman. And they brawled for a long time more. A table got involved. They went out in the audience.
Did it run in?
You know, it almost did, because Austin was thrown into the crowd, and they were all sitting around him, and Sandman went to get this table and pitched it over the guardrail onto Austin. It flew in. It did not run in, but it flew in. And then I can't really describe how this happened, but Sandman picked up the table to try and set it up, but then Austin hit him in the back, and so Sandman managed to drop the table down over the guardrail, and at the same time slide across it over the guardrail and down to the floor. It was tremendous. And they kept on fighting. There was a ref bump, which is even stupider than in TNA, because all these matches were no DQ anyway.
Sure.
So there was a ref bump. Brass Knuckles got involved. Austin made a cover, but Sandman got his feet on the ropes. And then Austin got hit with the knucks, and Sandman made a cover. And Austin got his foot on the ropes, but the ref missed it and counted 3 anyway. So Sandman was the new champ. And
what a clusterfuck of a finish, by the way.
It is not the best I've ever seen.
All this stuff, the thing with ECW was, a lot of this stuff was brand new to a new audience of people, and so it was groundbreaking and revolutionary. That's all fine. I'm sure at the time it was awesome, but looking back, there was a lot of this. Actually, you know what? I can't even fault ECW for this. I fault everyone else. There was a lot of shit on this show that I still see today, and it still sucks.
Oh, that is true.
The issue is not with ECW, now that I think about it. The issue is with people that saw a lot of this stuff, thought it was great, and burned it out, and are still doing it today.
Yeah. So Sandman celebrated. He was also one half of the tag champions here, so he struck a pose. He spread his feet wide apart. He held one belt in each hand, far apart over his head. A woman put a cigarette in his mouth and lit it, and he stood there smoking with both belts. And while he was a horrible wrestler, he was still a great man. We need exactly one guy like the Sandman in wrestling somewhere.
Well,
no more, no less. But we don't have one, and we miss it. And as ugly as this was, as sloppy as this was, as not good as this was, it was, I don't know how to explain it. It was captivating somehow.
It was something else.
It was something else. I don't know if it was just a train wreck. I don't know if it was just great charisma overwhelming a complete lack of talent. But I could not tear my eyes away from any of this. And, well, speaking about the three-way, the tag match just sucked.
Yeah.
The three-way was an ugly affair, but I could not turn away from any of it. So, I in a strange way, I must grant this three-way a thumbs up.
And then the show ended with one of those wacky montage segments with everyone doing and saying wacky things. That's all I can say about it.
About 20 15-second promos in a row.
Yeah.
Sometimes by the same people. Like they had the Pit Bulls there with Francine, and they threatened the Eliminators, and they threatened Jason, and then Francine said she would kick Jason's ass. And then like the Dudleys talked, and then the Heavenly Bodies were there, and they talked. And then went back to the Pit Bulls, and they said virtually exactly the same thing. They were going to beat up the Eliminators, and Francine was going to kick Jason's ass. So they just took a bunch of takes here and then showed them all on TV. And the Dudleys were there singing songs, and Taz was there looking scary as Bill Alfonso ranted, and it was the ECW crew being the ECW crew. And it was better. I don't even know what to say.
Go on.
It was...
Continue.
I would rather watch this than the usual boring 10 to 20-minute promo we get opening most TV shows these days.
You know what's funny is I cannot watch this show every week.
No.
It would overwhelm me very, very quickly. But, I mean, safe to say, I don't necessarily want to watch ECW every week. Certainly don't want to watch Impact every week, and I do, so there you go.
They did... The segment, the entire show went 55 minutes, and that includes segments with Joey and Taz from today, talking to each other about stuff. But when you look back on it, about an hour show, 2 matches, one pretty long, one way too long, and then a couple of short interview segments, and that was it. So, an easily watchable show. That's a plus.
Fail. That's quite a victorious song right there.
Ended up at the end just being an actual legit good song, but it started off awesome because of all the times when Terry Funk was a little early or a little late with his line.
Sure.
That made it better.
And by the way, the report on another website, which I won't mention the name because somehow they got the Big Show story from exclusive sources the morning after I published it, but when they added a detail that Great Khali blocked a punch like he does in the ring. No shit. How else would the Great Khali have fucking blocked a strike? Great Khali and the Big Show, everybody, if they had a fight, it would look exactly like it does when they have wrestling matches.
All I know is like someone else put on the board, I would pay $0 to ever watch these two do a fake wrestling match. I would pay hundreds to see them do battle.
And actually, as somebody else had noted, who even cares about the fight? I want to hear the argument that led to the fight.
That's a good one too.
That would have been money.
Now, I cannot disagree with. I cannot agree with rather your who cares about the fight notion, because when I visualize Great Khali mounting Big Show and attacking him with slaps, and the Undertaker coming over to pull him off, you don't want to see that.
Well, I guess.
All right.
It was very, very quick.
I'm sure it was.
They tripped over a crate, I believe. Which, how the fuck do you do that first time?
Because he's the Big Show.
And Khali got on top, and you want to know why Undertaker broke it up? Because everyone else in the fucking locker room was like, Jesus Christ! Who's going to pull those two guys apart?
Yeah, exactly.
Undertaker was there. Saved the day. Let's play this song right here. It features Jim Cornette, they said, so this should be interesting.
It's not Jim Cornette.
We're all in this together, you fucking morons. You knuckle-dragging, mouth-breathing idiots. I've added the checks in the middle and won't come in your mouth.
Jim.
Sometimes he gets inappropriate.
Watch SummerSlam from 1998. Not the entire show.
Really only a small part of it.
No, we were going to watch 3 matches. Let me think about this. No, we were going to watch 2. We were going to watch Steve Austin against The Undertaker, and we were going to watch the Rock versus Triple H match for the Intercontinental title, ladder match. And as we were going through part 2 on WWE 24/7, what should we see but Ken Shamrock against Owen Hart in an octagon-style cage?
The Lion's Den match.
Yes. We had to watch this.
We started to fast forward, and we looked at the images we could pick out flickering by, and we thought, you know what? This has to be reported. This must be observed.
So let's observe this match.
All right.
Ken Shamrock and Owen Hart in an octagon-style cage. Wow. They had a fake MMA fight early.
For about 30 seconds.
It was pretty bad, but I've seen worse. And then it broke down into a goofy pro wrestling match in a steel cage. We had Ken Shamrock applying a sleeper hold. Not a rear naked choke, mind you. A standing sleeper hold. A back suplex. We had headbutts, which are illegal. We had clotheslines.
We also had nut shots and choking with a T-shirt.
And a man running, doing a springboard off the side of the cage, into a flying elbow, and later into a tornado DDT. This was so unbelievably wacky.
We had Owen Hart, as he was on offense, mind you, he placed his foot at Shamrock's side, and Shamrock grabbed it so Owen could hit his enziguri.
Yeah.
We had Owen going for a standing Hurricane Rana and getting powerbombed for his troubles.
Yeah.
We had, what else, other wackiness? Shamrock actually hit about 3 of those springboard elbows until finally Owen caught him and power slammed him.
Sure.
And we had
went to the well one too many times.
Indeed. We had Owen applying the sharpshooter and Shamrock escaping by grabbing the cage and climbing up, also illegal.
Let me cut you off here, because now I have a question now that I've used an old saying. And maybe Carl Stern would know, I don't know, but anybody out there who's old, maybe we should ask Granny.
I was going to say.
What does that mean, you've gone to the well one too many times?
Presumably there was no more water left there.
I see.
So the first time Shamrock hit his springboard off the cage elbow, he had water. But then it went dry.
You shouldn't go to the well so often when you're thirsty. Is that what they're trying to tell you? What is the lesson that they're trying to teach here about going to the well one too many times?
Lessons to have many wells.
Remain parched?
No, lessons to have many wells, many sources of water.
Do a rain dance?
You're not listening to me.
No, I'm not. And what do you mean many wells?
In case one goes dry, you have another one.
But then shouldn't the saying be, have more wells? The saying is you went to the well one too many times. I need someone to explain this to me. I don't have it in me to look it up. Actually, you know what?
I do not need this explained.
How about you...
if I don't get this explained, I'll like it tomorrow just fine.
You talk more about how I lost complete interest in this match.
It did not take long.
And how Shamrock won. I'm going to look up gone to the well one too many times.
Yes, for about 30 seconds, as noted. They were doing worked MMA. It was fine. It was what it was. There was nothing to write home about. And then Shamrock just grabbed Owen and hit a back suplex, and the bullshit was on. We talked about all the wacky moves they did. We talked about how moves that are not legal in UFC were used here, such as nut shots and eye rakes and choking with a T-shirt. There's a ref walking around the ring, and there's like a catwalk around the top of the cage, and he was there just to, I guess, end it when it ended. Dan Severn was in Owen Hart's corner. There was some sort of wacky 3-way feud with Dan and Steve Blackman and Ken Shamrock going on, and I forget the details, and they were not explained clearly here. But Shamrock was there. He had a towel to throw in, but then when Owen got caught in the ankle lock, he waved for Severn to throw the towel in, and Severn instead turned his back and walked away, and Owen had to tap out. I guess that's worse than having the towel thrown in for you after you've called for it to be thrown in. So this was dumb. This was lame. And this was not Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle in the cage. That was much better. That was much better fake MMA than this. And also, I think that was shorter than this. This is a very, very long and not particularly good match.
See, when I look up going to the well one too many times, I don't get an explanation. I just get, for example, it's essentially going to the well one too many times. It's the adage of going to the well one too many times. Clearly, going to the well one too many times is something Newell is wary of. If there's such a thing as going to the well one too many times, these guys haven't done it yet. So, there's no answer here on Google. So if anyone knows, pardon me, if anyone knows, please let me know, because my interest has now been piqued. Anyway, did you finish talking about that match?
Shamrock won.
Got something in my throat. I've got a tickle in my throat. All right, then we had The Rock against Triple H in a ladder match for The Rock's IC title. And between the ring intros and the video package and the DX band coming out to sing Triple H's song, the intros went about an hour.
Most notably, obviously they've been doing video packages for more than a decade now. They're still doing them to this day. But these video packages were so long. They showed everything in the story that had happened for the past several months. There was no way you could watch this and not know what was going on if you had watched them. We fast-forwarded, and they still went forever. But the other thing I want to talk about before this, we fast-forwarded through this, but there was a tag match. It was the New Age Outlaws versus, theoretically, Mankind and Kane for the tag titles. This was Russo-rific to the extreme. You had the heel champions, Mankind and Kane. Kane just didn't show up. Mankind had to fight 2-on-1. So the baby faces came out. They worked him over 2-on-1. They hit him with every weapon in the book. They hit him with a stuffed pile driver. He kept kicking out of shit. They threw him through chairs. He kept kicking out, fighting on valiantly until finally he was overwhelmed and succumbed, and they pinned him to the belts. Then they threw him into a dumpster. Kane was hiding it, and he hit him with a hammer.
Are you sure you're correct about the babyface and heel?
Pretty sure, because when Hunter won, DX came out to party with him, and the Outlaws were there. Yeah, this may have been when Mankind was turning babyface.
Well, I'm thinking that when the ladder match started, they hated both men. This could have been a babyface turn for Hunter just winning.
My memory is not that clear. It may also be this Madison Square Garden is hating everyone. They've done that before.
All right, well, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to let Vinny talk a little bit about this match. I'm going to do some investigation and find out if Triple H was in fact a heel or if Vince's memories failed him. But first off, I do want to go back to the internet for more investigations into the person known as Chris Warren, who is the leader of the DX band. He's got his own Wikipedia page. Christopher Warren, born in 1968, is an American musician who has performed in numerous bands. He is currently the singer in Bro-Kin, B-R-O-K-I-N. He is best known for being the lead singer in the DX Band, a group who performed the entrance theme of professional wrestling stable Generation X called Break It Down. Let's see. He's got his WWF career, his TNA career. Warren and Bro-Kin signed an agreement with TNA, which involved the use of the band's music on TNA TV, such as Impact, pay-per-views, and DVDs. Their song Low was used as a theme for No Surrender 2007, Separate for Genesis 2007, and For the Vein for Final Resolution 2008.
Wow.
On March 5, 2009, Warren announced via Bro-Kin's website that the band had released their album La Violencia on iTunes, Amazon, and Napster. Napster still fucking exists? Wow.
It did in 2007.
And he also returned to WWE headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut in August of 2009 to record vocals to a new DX theme, coinciding with the return of the DX stable. The recording session saw Warren reunited in the studio with WWE music composer Jim Johnson for the first time in over 7 years. There you go, everybody. That's whatever happened to the DX band. And apparently there's a 4-part interview on the Squared Circle radio show with Chris Warren.
4 parts.
Yeah.
He had so much to say. They had so much to ask him, more importantly.
Yeah.
That it cannot be contained in one show.
So there you go, everybody. Vinny's going to start talking about this match I'm going to investigate.
So Hunter versus Rock in a ladder match. Those of you paying attention will note, this is the 3rd straight stip match in a row. We had that wacky Lion's Den match. We had whatever, the Street Fighter something with the Outlaws, and then we had this here ladder match. Bryan is digging through old binders full of newsletters. So, when this match happened, I remember being like the only person on earth who was not floored with it. Everyone else thought it was this Match of the Year candidate, 4+ stars, whatever. I thought it was good. And watching it again here 11 years later, it's better than I remember, but it's still not a all-time classic or anything. So, I've also heard people say they can no longer watch WWF stuff from this era, and it was WWF then, because it had the scratch logo, and you had to, now when they air it, it has to be blurred out. And I usually think these people are distracted by something very minor. At Summerslam this year, the scratch logo was taking up the entire side of the ring apron and was also taking up the entire entranceway. They had a gate that had the logo there. So in this particular case, it's very distracting. So watch out for that. So they had their match, and the one thing I will say, I can't say that they had constant, steady heat. It was basically lots of slow climbing, interrupted with slow plodding offense. And I can't say people were into this every second on the edge of their seat, but when there was a winner tease, when one guy got close to grabbing that belt, people got so into this, and they cared so passionately about who would win. And it's the kind of thing you really don't even see that much anymore. So that made it cool in a weird sort of way. I couldn't believe people wanted Triple H to win that badly, but they did. And the match itself, Rocky did a lot of punching. He worked Hunter's leg for a while. Hunter took a bunch of scary bumps off the ladder. Rocky was being much more safe. Hunter was perfectly fine with killing himself. And after Mark Henry threw powder in Hunter's face, and so Chyna dropped Mark Henry with a forearm to the jaw. Then she nutshotted Rocky, and Rocky fell off, and Hunter won. And you've never seen people so happy.
He did start to fizzle out there at the end, but yes, the Outlaws were, in fact, babyfaces. So the psychology was ass backwards. It's funny you should mention that match, because I also, at the time, thought this fucking match was overrated. And I thought, it was a good ladder match. It wasn't great. The people sure as hell got into it. But the one thing about this match was this was actually a historically significant match in that Rock and Triple H, this was like a turning point in both of their careers as far as being taken seriously as people that could be moved up to the next level. So, I mean, looking back, it was a very pivotal match, but the match itself, I was never really blown away by. And I know there were a lot of people that thought this was like an all-time great match. I just always thought, what match? Were you watching a different Rock versus Triple H ladder match than I was? I mean, this was really good, don't get me wrong, but nothing special. And as mentioned, yes, Chyna laid out fucking Mark Henry with a forearm.
With one shot.
Think about this. There were 7 wonders of the ancient world. Then there was Andre the Giant. And then there was Chyna. That is so wrong. I don't want people also freaking out and going, God, Bryan's sexist. Why is Bryan so appalled that Chyna's laying out Mark Henry? Because she's a woman? No, it's because Mark Henry is twice her size.
Oh, much more than that.
If a man the size of Chyna laid out Mark fucking Henry with a forearm, I would have been just as appalled. It's ridiculous. I don't know.
Had Rey Mysterio,
it would have been absurd.
Yes. If Evan Bourne had punched Mark Henry and he had fallen down, wacky.
And boy, looking back at Chyna nowadays, what she has become and what she was then, it's amazing. Is it amazing? I don't know. She seemed like she had a lot more together back then.
Oh, but you don't say.
I don't know.
That is certainly true. And then afterwards, we got to see the home video exclusive. The Rock sitting on a couch in the dressing room in the back, and the doctor wanted to stitch him up. He had a gig, as they refer to it in the biz, and he told the doctor to get away. Oh, he relayed the smackdown on his monkey ass and looked in the camera and cut a promo on Hunter saying, "Congratulations, you beat me tonight, way to go, but there's still only one people's champion, and someday I'll get my revenge and pay back as a bitch." So there you go.
Hello? I love you, won't you tell me your name? Hello? I love you, let me jump in your game. Hello? I love you, won't you tell me your name? Hello? I love you, let me jump in your game. Hello? 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 Hello?
Granny, you're on the air.
Okay.
What's going on?
Oh, not too much.
There's nothing exciting to talk about anymore, Granny. Your porch is done?
I know. I bet you everybody's happy that that's over with.
Apparently something, including Vince, who was in a very bad mood last week.
I know.
He really was, wasn't he?
It is funny when I'm angry, though.
He really was, wasn't he?
I think he was just mad at you because you called me 10 minutes after 12.
That's probably it.
He was mad at me because I called you after 12?
Yeah.
He could not possibly care less, Granny.
How dare you?
He didn't care about your porch. Why would he care that I called you late?
I think he even mentioned something about it.
The only calling late that Vince gets upset about is when he gets called late for dinner.
No, is that it?
That was a zinger.
Granny.
It was a good one.
Granny's no selling of that actually made it even funnier because she thought it was legit.
Well, it's true. It's true. Vince was fed tonight, Granny, so that's why he's in a better mood.
Where'd you go?
Hey, we had some fajitas here.
There are fajitas here. They were yummy.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds good.
Now, Granny, let's Dancing with the Stars is about to start here soon.
Not till the 21st.
Yeah, that's soon. In astronomical terms. Now, we saw a picture of Chuck Liddell in his duds getting ready to dance, and he's the one you got to follow, Granny. Chuck Liddell.
I know. He's kind of a funny-looking guy.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
He's a funny guy in many ways.
He'd tell you that.
But he'd knock you out, Granny.
I suppose, so I better root for him, huh?
That's right. You never know when his fist might come through your TV screen.
Oh, gee.
Is there any new Dancing with the Stars updates here?
No. I looked on there, and I can't even find the pictures that I usually, print out. They haven't come up yet.
I still love the fact that, what's funny is Dave, when he gathers his news, when he gets emails, he prints everything out.
What?
Yeah, like
in 2009?
Yeah, his floor is like, you wade like knee-deep in papers because so much stuff has been printed out. And it's fascinating, and Granny does the same thing. She prints all of her notes out.
If you lived in, the North Woods and then you use those emails for kindling, I would understand that.
No,
he's in beautiful San Jose.
Yeah. You need paper copies of everything. But so, Granny, what's new?
Well, let's see. You probably heard we had a death in the family.
That's right. I was not sure who this person was, but I apparently am related to them.
My sister's husband that lived in Bremerton.
I see. What happened?
He's been sick for a long time.
Yeah.
In fact, he lived longer than they expected. He had so many things wrong with him, and he's been kind of sick all his life, and he was really very heavy.
He was sick as very heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's never good to let your weight get out of control.
I know. He just never was very healthy, so.
How old was he?
He's younger than I am, so he's in his middle 70s.
Well, I've said this many times to acquaintances who may have put on a little bit of weight, but when you think about all the people you know that are really old, usually they're not that heavy.
It's funny how that works, isn't it?
You know what I mean? Old people are always really small and skinny.
Not always. We had a fellow over at the senior center that he was pretty heavy set, and I seen him one day, and next time I went over, they said he's gone.
Yeah,
that's what
exactly,
happened.
Granny.
I can actually say I ate dinner tonight with my grandfather in his facility with many people his age, and you know what? You're right. Not a lot of fat folks there.
Yeah. Gotta watch that when you're young.
Well, and the other day we went and played pool, and we had lunch at the senior center, and they have the round table where people sit around, and this gal came in with her mother who was 103.
Yep.
And she sat there and ate all of her food and even got in on the conversation a little bit. She was really good for her age.
Now, was she a very small, skinny woman?
Yeah, she was small.
Yeah, see, there you go, everybody. That's just the way it is. I was driving by the senior center the other day, Granny, and there was a sign outside. I forget what it was. It was like, swimming pool open or something?
Oh, yeah, that's up at our clubhouse. Yeah, they have a swimming pool up there.
So the clubhouse, wait a second, so the clubhouse is different from the senior center?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, is the senior center over by Blythe Park?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I got them confused. I thought Super China Buffet Day was up by your house, but it was somewhere totally different. Have you figured out how to...
That's different.
You figured out how to get your photos of Super China Buffet Day onto the internet yet?
Nope.
Granny, you're taking your sweet time here.
Well, I just haven't been able to, and I guess Tony's going to be taking off 4 days, so that means I would never be able to get a hold of Nikki.
Yeah, well, why is he taking 4 days off? Vacation?
I don't know.
Summer break?
I guess he just can.
Are they going to go on some sort of vacation, a tour?
No, the boys are in school, so...
Yeah.
That is his vacation, then.
That is true. Granny, what happened to your phone?
Well, what do you mean, my phone?
You got a new one, right?
Well, it's not new. He just gave me one from that somebody else had given him.
Are you going to get a new one, or are you going to use this loaner for good?
Now, the only way you're going to find that out is to ask Tony.
So you're going to use a loaner for good?
Yeah, I'm going to use it until he decides that he's going to get another one.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I don't really care as long as I can get my calls in and my calls out, you know.
Sure, what more do you need?
Using anything else.
That's right, Granny. All right, we got any questions this week?
Well, I wanted to say something first.
Speech.
Last week when I was talking about the Second World War and all that stuff, everybody that said I was wrong was right because I don't know too much about that because I was 13 years old when the war started. And by the time it ended, I was married and had one child. And so there was a lot of stuff that I really, really was confused about. But I kind of read up a little bit on some of this, and I understand that Truman bombed Japan because after D-Day, they didn't want to quit fighting. If that's true, let me know.
Because after D-Day, they didn't want to quit fighting?
Yeah, after everybody else called it a truce, they still wanted to keep fighting.
Japan, that is.
Yeah, that's why he dropped the bomb.
All right. You've been following some history here.
Well, and I also read up a little bit about your Mildred Burke.
Yes?
The part that I got was that her husband, or her ex-husband, blocked her everything she wanted to do. He kept blocking her, so she didn't seem to want to be able to go very far.
Well, Billy Wolf did cause a lot of problems. You should read this book, Granny. This is a great book.
Well, it sounded like she's a pretty interesting person.
I may bring this one over.
That's true.
I may bring this one over for you. You should listen to the show we did on Wednesday with me and Dave and Jeff Lean talking about Mildred Burke.
I listened to most of yours, but I'll have to say one thing. Your last one on the 3rd, you and Vinny's show. Yeah? I just about shut it off.
Why is that?
Because you got so hyper and you were using the 4-letter word so often, and then even somebody on the board said, enough's enough.
You know what's funny is I swear to God Almighty this is true. When I started that show on Tuesday, I said in my mind that I was going to do a professional show and not use a lot of swear words and rant and rave. And I don't know what happened, but apparently I went off the deep end. I don't even remember this. What was I ranting about?
I don't know.
Oh, you were just really hyper, and you were just going like...
About what? Do you even remember?
I don't even remember. You were just really going at it.
Oh, you know what? You know what? It was the Jeff Hardy thing at the end, and it was the Dusty Rhodes and Cody deal. I was very passionate about those two things, Grandma.
Oh, well.
Well, don't you want... I should have passion about the things I care about. I'm trying to add some life to this show.
Well, that's not adding life, though.
That's what?
That 4-letter word's not adding life as far as I'm concerned.
Well...
And I'm your grandma, so I can bawl you out if I want to.
That's true, but it is 2009, Granny, so we do have to, you know.
I don't hear too many people doing that.
They haven't caught on yet.
I was thinking to myself, when somebody has a bad habit like that, how come it takes them so long to break it?
Bryan doesn't consider it a bad habit.
I didn't swear at all, Granny, until I met her back in high school.
Oh, well, that's...
The one you really didn't like.
Oh, you're using her for an excuse.
No,
now.
This is true. You can ask, well, I don't think Vinny would know. He didn't know me all that well back then. But you can ask any of my friends. That was a turnaround.
The only thing I can confirm is that I knew 2 men who dated this woman in high school, and I can honestly say that I never saw them smiling in her presence. She would always be there, and on the surface at least, she seemed like a pretty happy, outgoing high school girl. And there would always be the guy. There would always be the guy standing behind her, hands in his pockets, looking at the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
This is what I saw.
Yeah. Things happen, Granny. Let's go to the questions, for God's sake.
Oh, well, let's see. I have one thing to say, though. Another thing. The guy that took over for Jay Leno, or forget his name.
Conan O'Brien. Conan.
he said that Seattle has a new clinic for people that are addicted to the Internet.
Really?
Yeah.
Was there a punchline?
No, that's what he said.
How about that?
He announced this fact and then moved on with the show.
I'll have to investigate that, Granny. That could well be me.
Well, I'm kind of waiting for Jay Leno to get on earlier in the evening because I'd like to listen to him.
Well, you know, I was excited when I saw a commercial for the new Jay Leno show, and the commercial featured him doing headlines. So I will absolutely be watching that program. That's my favorite thing.
Okay, one question they asked is did Bryan ever jump off the top of your house onto a mattress? And they're trying to get me to say that word, and I'm not going to say it.
Oh, Granny's in on the whole thing here.
Get it out. You know what's really funny about that question? I forget where I was with you, but you mentioned that you don't like to be in high places because you are always tempted to jump off them.
Yes, this is true.
You feel it a pull to jump off things. See,
now I just tell people that I'm afraid of heights. But it isn't, I don't even know, maybe this is what afraid of heights is, but whenever I get somewhere really, really high, I can't go near the edge because I have this intense desire to leap.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's bad times.
That's more like a love of heights.
Well, I don't know, because I'm trying to get from the height to the ground,
That's
apparently.
true. You may just want to get back to ground level
I have such
as quickly as possible and no matter the cost.
I have such a love of no heights that I'm willing to leap to them. So, yeah, that's a true fact. What else do you got, Granny?
Okay, somebody asked, why do young kids have the desire to be lazy?
The desire?
Yeah, that's what it says.
I think most everybody would desire to be lazy.
I was going to say,
well,
because they're human beings.
Because they're so spoiled, and they don't have to face any problems, and the Internet and all these gadgets that they have are hurting them, and they won't change unless they get into a lot of trouble and have to face reality.
Well, Granny, the reality is that you were also burned during the Depression. So, yes, nobody alive today as the hardships that you had.
Undoubtedly true.
But at the same time, everybody has their own hardships.
Like what? Some kids don't have any. They have the parents do everything for them.
Well, that may be very hard for some
kids.
kids.
Granny, let me ask you a question.
What?
You're a mother. You had your children. When your children were born, did you think, I want this child to face a life of hardship? Or did you think, I hope this child is always happy?
Well, I wanted it to grow up to be responsible.
That's right.
And not do everything for them and make them be responsible for stuff, not just to give them everything. And, kids nowadays, they just have everything.
They do have a lot. I will say that.
That's certainly true.
They certainly do have more nowadays. All right, Granny, what's next?
Let's see.
Now, what about your mom, Granny? I mean, was she always trying to give you everything that she could, or was she the same way you were?
What do you mean, the way I was?
Did she make you work?
I gave my kids everything that I could possibly give them.
I see.
But I didn't have, a lot of times when they went to school and everybody else would have all the nice stuff, my kids I couldn't let them go skiing or anything like that. And,
that's probably for the better.
It was hard, but it didn't hurt them not to be able to do it.
And my mom turned out great. She produced me.
Yeah. Oh, your mom was a good mom.
Yes, she was. She was a great mom.
And Nikki is a great mom. But her kids have way too much stuff. Their room is just a mess.
Just ridiculous. You should go in and start taking stuff away, Granny.
Oh, yeah.
Show these kids what it was like in 1929.
Little Carlos, he'd kick me.
He probably would try to bite you.
That's entirely possible, yes.
Yeah.
My sister has 4 children, and one year their garage was full of toys. Every square inch of the floor was taken by toys, and so they let each child pick like 3 things, and they threw out everything else. And there was a great traumatic weekend for the children. They thought they would never recover, and like 6 months later, the garage was full again.
Of course.
Yes.
What's next, Granny?
Oh, I have something to tell everybody, too. Brian helped me do something.
Oh, God.
That actually is news.
Let's do the Q&A.
He brought down my garbage can for me the other day.
There you go.
Yeah.
Help.
There we go.
Let's see.
Moving on.
Exactly.
And let's see.
It sounds like Dave, too.
They wanted to know which performer I liked when I was growing up, and I really didn't have any favorites.
Abe Lincoln?
But I'll tell you what, we went to the Monroe Fair on Monday.
The Monroe Fair?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
we got there about 10:15, and we just had the greatest day. We stayed and watched all the stage shows, which our favorite Elvis, who was there, and I got to shake his hand. And then Stan Boris and Bryan, I don't know if you remember him or not.
Stan Boris?
Stan Borison. He used to be on TV for years.
Van Morrison?
He plays the accordion, tells Norwegian jokes, and he was funny.
I'm shocked I don't recall this guy. Surprised I don't remember this man. He played the accordion and told
jokes. That was a long time ago. And then they had Cisco the gardener, and he's a cute little guy. And so then after that, then they had that Western guy, Jerry Andel. He's owned a restaurant up in Everett, and he has a horse. He brought his horse.
A horse, you say?
Yeah.
Does the horse...
and everybody got to pet the horse.
Does the horse count or anything like that?
Huh?
Does the horse count or anything like that?
No, but it nodded his head and stuff. He was a very nice horse. One of those Palominos.
About that.
Yeah.
I haven't gone to the fair this year. Maybe we should go.
Well, I remember you went with us one year. That's been a long time ago.
Probably was, yeah. All right, what's next?
It was a fun show.
Okay.
But I didn't hardly move from where I sat. I just got up and got a couple of cups of coffee and brought my own lunch and...
Got to have that caffeine when you're going to be sitting around for a while.
Yeah, so we had a great day.
That's good to hear, Granny. What's next?
And then tomorrow my brother's coming up, and I'm going to stay at his house, and we're going to go to Bremerton on Saturday. So
now, why would you do that? Oh, I'm sorry, I've heard the news.
All the family will be there except my sister from Montana.
Well, that is a ways away, Montana.
Yeah, it is.
All right, let's do one more question, Granny. What do you got?
I don't think I have it. Oh, they wanted to ask me what I thought of a person that has Brazilian steak instead of American steak. Are they true Americans? I mean, what is a Brazilian steak? What's the difference?
It's a steak cooked in America by a Brazilian, actually.
Is that what it is?
Basically, yeah.
Oh, it's not a different kind of steak.
Well, maybe a Brazilian cow, but most likely it's one from around here as well.
You mean when you went down there, they shipped in a Brazilian cow just for you guys, and then you didn't get any?
They shipped in something.
Based on what we paid, they may have shipped that cow in from Mars.
That was funny.
Oh, yeah. I'll say. $650 later. Ha, ha, ho!
Well, maybe next year you'll think more about it so I can go.
I'm sure that's why they screwed us on the food, Granny, because they knew you couldn't go because of where we went.
Well, I called them and told them.
Did you really?
Yeah.
What'd they say?
They said they weren't going to give you very good service.
You're lying.
Are you really going to believe that?
I did, actually.
It's just plausible enough that Granny may have sabotaged our Super China Buffet Day.
I thought she called afterwards. Either way. Oh, Granny.
I can't believe you. Anyway, I guess that's about it.
All right, Granny, stop ribbing us here.
Very sensitive men.
I can't believe you believe that.
Okay. Well, Granny,
What fools we are.
You're 80 years old. We're supposed to believe everything you say.
Hey, wait a minute.
79, I know. We're a month away, though, Granny. Come on. Technically, you're 80.
2 months.
No, it's not. It's November. That's next month.
What?
No, wait a minute.
Oh, wait. Next month's October.
There you go, calendar man.
So anyway, everybody, it's been fun.
Yeah, it's 2 months away.
Granny, we'll talk to you next week, and we'll get some more questions for you.
Okay, you do that, because there hasn't been very many lately.
These lazy punks. We'll get it handled.
Okay.
Okay.
Talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, my God.
That was lively.
Granny?
Something's wrong.
There we go.
Granny?
I pushed the wrong button.
Call me back.
What? Why?
Call me back.
Why? What in the hell is going on?
She has something better to do at 12:04 a.m. than talk to us.
What just happened?
She said to call her back. And you asked why, and she said call her back. She didn't say when or
And then
why.
she hung up on me.
Then she hung up on you.
God damn it. This show is just a wreck.
Should we stop now?
I may. Let me try calling her back. Hold on. Granny,
Yeah?
what the hell is going on? Why do we have to call you back?
Well, because something happened to the phone.
It was working fine.
No, it wasn't on this, not on this end.
Well, what did you hear on that end?
I can't remember.
A sound? People talking?
No, it just wasn't working.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. Well, it's working now.
Okay, it's fine now.
Granny, what's happening?
I'm just tired. I didn't have my nap today.
Oh, no. When's Dancing with the Stars start?
Next Monday.
Oh, next Monday. That means the next time you're on the show, we're gonna hear about what happened.
Yeah, and I haven't been able to find the pictures on there to print out, so...
Oh, no. Well, what'll we do?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I'll figure out something.
All right, Granny, we got a very important topic to talk about here today.
Okay.
Do you know that on Monday Night Raw, I cannot believe we didn't email you to tell you to watch this show. I completely didn't even think about it. Bob Barker was the host of Raw.
I heard all about it, and I was, it mustn't have been too much of an impression on Sylvia because I was over at her house for lunch today, and she never mentioned it.
She never mentioned it a single time?
Not a one time.
That's impossible. Maybe she was doing something else at the time.
I know she watched it.
Granny, tell us the history of Bob Barker.
Oh, he's been on for a long time, and he got sued by one of his girls.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. That's about all I know, except that he was on there for all that time.
That's the extent of the knowledge you have of Bob Barker after watching Price is Right for decades.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what was your favorite game on The Price is Right?
I think we talked about... Oh, wait a minute. Price is... Yeah, we talked about that before. Remember? I said I liked that little guy that... the mountain climber.
The mountain climber!
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, you're both wrong. The correct answer is Plinko.
No. Granny, do you even remember Plinko?
Plinko was nice. Yeah, I liked that one,
Thank
too.
you.
I watched this show for years. I can't remember Plinko. What was Plinko?
Plinko's the one where they go to the top of the big pegboard, and they drop the discs down, and the discs bounce around off everything, and they go into the funny slots.
Yeah, I remember this.
And the middle one has like $5,000, and on either side is zero.
You like that better than the mountain climber?
Yeah.
How's that possible?
Oh, yeah. 'Cause
Tension.
You could win a lot more money that way.
I could make a Plinko board on this wall if I really wanted to right now.
That would be awesome.
One of these walls.
Sure.
I could make a Plinko
I endorse
game here.
that.
Well, fine. If you want to buy all the stuff and put it together, I'll put it on the wall.
It would be fun.
This would be worth it to watch you do handiwork.
No, you gotta put it together. I'll just hang it on the
You
wall.
said I could put it together. That's the exact words.
I said I could put it on one of these walls. Granny, could you make a Plinko board for us?
No.
You made a porch.
Yeah, you made a porch. You can't. All this is a bunch of nails.
You just hammer nails in the wood.
Yeah.
Because you'd probably never use it anyway, because I never see you.
No,
Well,
I'd use it here for the show. Like we could put songs underneath it,
Or names down there. We call whoever the
yeah, we'd have like a bunch of names down below, and
they would all say Mark.
Yeah, I know about that one, but Brent, Mark, Granny, Craig, Sean. A lot of people we could call, and Buddy, we just dropped the little thing down, and it would Plinko all the way down, and whoever it landed on, we'd call him.
Talking about Buddy, I emailed him tonight.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wished him well, and he emailed back and said thank you.
Yeah, he's been getting a lot of emails lately, and it's BuddyWayne@Verizon.net. If anybody wants to... Yeah, he's having a tough time, but he's gonna be fine. By the time this is all said and done, I think he's gonna be about 100%. And maybe in some of the best shape he's ever been in. But
that's good.
It's going to be like the mountain climber, actually. It's going to be a long battle up a big hill. But we'll talk to him about that later on.
Does he have medical?
I don't know. We'd have to ask him. Yeah.
Anyway, I wanted to tell you, I was over at Sylvia's for lunch today, and she's got 2 or 3 calendars of all the wrestlers.
Calendars?
Yeah.
Like in fireman outfits?
No, of the wrestlers.
Oh, I see. Just the wrestlers in their gear.
Yeah.
Wow. Who's on the poster this month?
Oh, I forgot. I think it was Cena.
John Cena?
He's one of my favorites.
Granny, remember Wheel of Fortune?
Wheel of Fortune, yeah.
And Jeopardy? These are some great game shows.
Oh, really?
You don't agree?
Huh?
Wait, we should watch these all the time, Granny. I'm trying to spur your memory here.
Oh, still watch them.
You still watch Wheel of Fortune? It's still on the air?
Yeah, so's Jeopardy.
Oh, my God. I figured Jeopardy was, but I thought Wheel of Fortune would be long gone.
Oh, it's very popular.
Is it really?
And it still has Pat Sajak and Vanna White.
You've got to be kidding me. Vanna White?
She is still the hottie turning letters, yes.
You've got to be kidding me. In 2009?
Look how I'm going to look up how old she is.
I'm going to look up... Vinny, you on the internet there is just bad news. I'm going to have to disable it here pretty soon. And now what about Tic-Tac-Toe, Granny? Do you remember that game?
Not very well.
No, come on, I remember that. Wink Martindale?
Wink Martindale, yeah, with the dragon.
Oh, that was way back there.
Oh, yeah, that was my favorite game show. I wouldn't go anywhere. There were after-school activities at night, and I wouldn't go to them because I didn't want to miss Tic-Tac-Toe.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah, that was by far my favorite game. What other shows did you watch, Granny? What are some other great game shows from back in the day?
I'm trying to think here.
Vanna White's 52 years old.
Yes.
Well, she don't look a day older than when she started.
Oh, I'll be the judge of that. But go on, Granny.
She looks good. I'm trying to think. Well, right now I like Family Feud.
That's an oldie but a goodie.
Oh, that's been on for a long time too. And then there was another one where I can't remember, the guy'd go out into the audience and he'd have all these prizes and stuff. But I can't remember the name of the show.
Let's Make a Deal?
That's it, yeah.
Let's Make a Deal.
I like that one. That was a good one.
Remember when I used to sit on your lap, Granny, eat barbecue potato chips, and we'd watch these shows?
Yeah.
Those were the days.
We also watched Car 54. Where are you?
There's another one! Car 54. It wasn't a game show, but that was a great program.
Quality television program, yes.
Car 54, where are you? We should find those on DVD, Granny.
Well, I have one here that I could sit and watch, but I don't watch it very often, but I do have one here.
On DVD?
On my regular, you know.
Your VHS?
VCR.
VCR? Yeah. She's exactly like Dave. It's amazing, Granny. You got to meet Dave one of these days. You guys are very much the same.
He never likes the stuff they have now, like this phone. I'd like to throw it away.
Actually, yes.
You know, I'm going to have my own house phone tomorrow.
I hear. What's the story behind getting a new house phone?
Well, because it's so hard to talk on this little one, and I want something that I can listen. You know, I have to hold this so close to my ear, and then if I talk very long, my hand goes to sleep, and I just want something a little bit bigger.
All right. Good as a reason as any. All right, Granny, let's do a couple of questions before we go, if you have any new ones.
Okay. It's, well, you have a new girl on there. What's her name? Pingu girl?
I ignore her. She's mean to me.
Oh, she is?
Yeah.
Anyway, she sent me some. She said, which wrestler would you invite to your house and what would you cook?
What would you cook?
That made the question great.
I would guess the answer for the cooking part would be pot roast.
Well, I said, I'm saying, I would invite him. It would be the Undertaker, and I would invite Sylvia too because she just loves him.
Yeah.
If you could have a dinner conversation with any wrestler, you would choose the Undertaker.
Sure.
Yeah, and I'd probably cook him a 2-pound steak.
He would come over then.
I was going to say, you may get a knock on your door here pretty soon when he hears that, Granny.
Well, and she was saying today when we go to Vegas that she was hoping that you might be able to get some wrestlers to come or something.
Well, there were some wrestlers there this year.
Not at the dinner.
Not at the dinner, no. But there were wrestlers in Vegas. We'll see what happens, Granny.
Oh, okay.
Now, if I came over, would you make me a 2-pound steak?
Sure.
Oh, really?
Why have you never done it before?
I was going to say, that's interesting. Okay. All right, what's next?
Okay, another one was, did Bryan ever buy you a gift that you pretended you liked? And
Bryan buying a gift.
Practically every book I have here in the house, mostly faith books and everything, was bought by you, Bryan.
And I knew they were all books you'd read cover to cover.
And then the one you got me that says why I love my grandma, too. I have that one.
Yeah? I know how to buy for people.
Yeah, because you wait till the last day and then you run to the Barnes & Noble.
Or half-price books if I'm feeling cheap.
Okay, here's another one. Tell us about your first kiss.
Oh, let me can I turn myself down here?
Listen, I can't remember my first one, and I can't remember my last one.
Wow. I need a cymbal crash right there.
Or the Price is Right fail sound.
Oh, Vinny, come on now.
What do you say?
He said the Price is Right fail song.
Oh.
What a jerk.
Anyway, and wanted to know if I buy American cars. And I have always bought an American car, but everybody says, oh, well, all the parts are from Japan anyway.
Well, they may be.
Yeah, but I just feel like, I've had all Cavaliers, and now I have a Pontiac, so I just feel like I want to have American cars.
Sure, maybe. Sounds good. All right, one more, Granny.
Okay. They want to know why I
Pingu Girl doesn't have an American car, I know that, but go on.
They want to know why I don't have a barbecue on my porch. That's because I have 2 decks on the other side of my house.
Living large.
Yeah.
It's the large decks, 12 by 30 for one, and then you will go down 3 steps and you have another one that's 12 by 12.
Well, hey.
That I can barbecue either way,
12 by 30?
That's like 500 square feet of deck.
Yeah.
Next time I'm over, I'll take a picture of the back deck and put it on the board.
Good idea.
Can I put some mats out there and do jiu-jitsu privates?
Do what?
Never mind. So, we'll take a picture of your deck and put it up on the website, and everyone can enjoy it.
Good.
All right. Well, that's it from... Oh, what's up? What?
Oh, I just want to tell you I got an email from Rodney.
Great man.
Yeah.
Was he going to send you an ROH DVD?
No, he's looking forward to Vegas.
It's going to be fun next year, Granny.
I hope so. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm not sure about you 2 ladies going all nutty, but we're going to have fun.
Well, Sylvia's going to be out looking for wrestlers, I'll tell you.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Well, you better tell her to start watching UFC, because she'll see plenty of those guys.
Oh, and I gave her a bad time, too, because when I was out at my brother's house, SmackDown was on, and he's got a great big TV screen, and I didn't even watch it.
Oh, that's what I'm sure she watched it and ignored you.
Oh, well, she wasn't there. I mean, I was at my brother's house.
I see. I thought it was like a big get-together of some sort.
No, but I had to tell her that I could have watched it, but I didn't.
All right, well, we're wrapping it up here today, Granny, but everybody can post on the radio show section of the board. There's a Granny's mailbag thread. Just put your questions in there, and she'll answer them next time here on the program.
Yeah, I didn't get any at all. I just got that one from the gal.
That's right.
That's the
from
only
the
one
gal.
I got.
Sure. So we'll get some more next week, maybe from some more gals.
Okay.
All right, we'll talk to you next time.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, Granny. Her joke was funny. Come on now.
Which one?
About being kissed.
I didn't know she was joking.
You probably told that joke.
I don't joke about my love life,
I was
actually.
going to say, maybe it wasn't a joke.
It's not funny to me.
Now I need the cymbal clash. Granny?
Yeah?
You're on the air on your brand new phone.
I know, and it's very interesting.
Interesting.
It's a house phone.
I know, but they give out numbers of other people. And I happen to get somebody named Khali, and so far I've gotten a call from a collecting agency, from a hospital.
Oh, no.
Oh,
yeah,
you mean
I got a call from the Bothell High School that the kid wasn't coming to school.
Wait a second. So you've got caller ID? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I see. And do you have to pay extra for that?
No.
Really?
I don't think so.
I thought you had to pay extra for caller ID.
I'll find out when I get my bill from Comcast. They might just sock it to me. It's supposed to be $25 to hook it up, and $20 a month for I think 6 months, and then it goes up to $30 a month.
We'll see, Granny. We'll see what happens when you get your bill.
I know. I'm thinking it's probably gonna hit me. So anyway, if it keeps up, I'm gonna have to call and have to change the number because I've gotten these are just some of the ones that I answered, but some of the others, when I see what they are, there's some that are just weird, and so I don't even answer them.
And how long have you had this phone for?
About a week.
Just, is this number too similar to another number?
I don't know, but I do like the number because it's so easy to remember.
It is an easy-to-remember number.
Yeah.
Would you like to give it out on the air so people can call you?
No.
Good for you.
I'm getting enough of that.
I'm gonna go on the internet right now, Granny, and I'm gonna see what the phone number for Bothell High is, and see if it is in fact very similar to the number that you've got.
Why?
Well, you said you were getting calls from people saying their kid wasn't going to school.
She was getting calls from Bothell High.
From the high school.
Oh, from the high school.
Yes.
Something wrong with your ears sometimes.
So you know what
No,
it
just don't
sounds?
listen.
It sounds like whatever they shut off the phone and took off, and that's why the kid hasn't been in school. They probably maybe got in trouble or something and just took off.
Have you ever been to the Bothell High Wikipedia?
No.
I am listed as a notable alumni,
Oh,
along
really?
with Patty Murray.
How about
Anyone
that?
else? Chris Walla.
Chris Walla and comedian Kyle Cease.
Kyle Cease, sure.
I've never heard of him.
He had a Comedy Central special.
Aren't
wow.
you there, Vince?
I am not notable.
No.
Oh.
He's under the non-notable alumni.
I thought you might get it for having all D's.
Oh, the what?
All
All
D's?
D's.
Granny, how dare you? I was a solid B-minus student.
Hey, that's better than Bryan, I bet.
I would ace all the tests and then slack off on the work.
Me, I got a 3.34 grade average.
That's not very good.
A 3.34 out of 4?
Well,
Granny has high standards for you.
I guess so.
I thought you should have a 4.
Actually, if I recall correctly, it was a 3.33 from 9th grade through my senior year, and in the last quarter, I got a 3.5 because I had no classes.
Oh, yeah, no classes, so they give it. Oh,
I still
boy.
got a 3.5.
Oh, that's good, I guess.
All right, Granny, we announced to the people last week that Dancing with the Stars was starting, and apparently was not.
No, it doesn't start till this Monday. So what I thought I'd do, like, you know, they have 5 people that are in sort of gymnastics and stuff like that, you know.
They have 5 people in gymnastics on
Not
Dancing?
really all in gymnastics, but I mean they're all in sports.
Okay, sure.
You know, well, you probably know all about Chuck Liddell.
I know a
Familiar
little
with the man?
I know a little about Chuck, yeah.
And then there's Louis Vito. He's a skateboarder, and he's won lots of awards, even way back when he was 6 and 7. So that's unusual.
Yeah?
And Michael Irvine, he's a football for Dallas Cowboys.
I've heard the name.
Been arrested quite a few times. So.
He's been in trouble a time or two.
Yeah.
Good claim to fame. Notable alumni.
Yeah, and it also the ages kind of make like Chuck is 39 and that Louis is 21 and Michael Irvine is 43.
Is he really? Jesus.
And then there's a Mark Dacascos. It says martial arts and karate and stuff like that.
Oh,
he's
that one guy.
Yeah, he's
Martial arts actor person.
Yeah, he's an actor. He's an actor.
He was in such classics as Double Dragon and the Crow television series.
Chuck Liddell would kick his ass.
Yes. So would Michael Irvin, probably.
Yeah.
And he's 45.
I'd kick his ass.
And then there's Natalie Coughlin. She's 27. She's Olympic gold medal swimmer.
Coughlin, you say?
Yeah, I was wondering if he's related to this.
To Mike Coughlin?
Yeah.
Wow, well, maybe we need to keep an eye on her.
Could be. Anyway.
I do want to mention really quick that Mark Dacascos guy, to his credit, he was in one awesome movie called Brotherhood of the Wolf. So I do want to make that known.
Vince is a geek, everyone.
All right. Okay, so... and
Granny doesn't care.
No.
And then there's Donnie Osmond. He's 51.
Donnie Osmond? Hasn't he been on this show about 70 times?
He's only 51?
No, only. That's kind of funny.
Hasn't Donnie Osmond been on this show before?
No, it was his sister.
Oh, that must be
Other
it.
Osmond.
I see.
Yeah, and she's on this Weight Watchers thing or something now, and she lost so much weight, she's just skinny.
Wow, good for her.
Then there's the politician, Tom DeLay. Tom DeLay.
I like Tom DeLay.
Tom DeLay?
He's 61.
Wow.
Those two are the ones I'd like to see go first.
Politician, of course. I understand, Granny.
The politician and Osmond.
Hey, Granny, did you hear Linda McMahon is running for the Senate?
Yes, I noticed that last night.
Yeah,
How about that?
What do you think of them apples?
Well, I kind of liked her talk. I listened to her, and we need somebody that's not a politician, or a lawyer.
She's certainly not a politician, that's for damn sure.
Is she a lawyer, though?
I doubt it.
I forget what the hell she did. She did something besides what she's doing right now. I think it was something related to law.
Do you think she has a chance?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. No. You saw the stuff and you actually thought that she did a good job? Because I thought she was horrible.
Oh, I thought she had a good speech.
I thought she came off like she sounded like she had no idea what she was talking about.
I didn't. I liked it.
Oh, okay, well, there you go.
Okay, so then we have Debbie Mazar. She's an actress, and she's 45.
Yeah.
And then we have Kathy Ireland. She's a supermodel. She's 46. And Macy Gray. She's a
wow.
Granny Winter singer. She's 42.
God, these people are all old.
Yeah.
We need some young blood in the entertainment industry.
And then there's Maya.
There's one. She's got to be in her 20s.
Yeah, she's 29. She's a dancer.
That counts.
If she's a dancer, she shouldn't be on there.
It does seem unfair, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, didn't Stacey Keebler win this?
She went very far. I don't think she won it. Did she win it?
She was a dancer.
God, my memory is horrible. Stacey Keebler, she didn't win Dancing with the Stars, did she?
No.
No, it was the gymnast that won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there's Aaron Carter. He's only 21. He's part of the Backstreet Boys.
He's only 21?
I think he's the younger brother of a Backstreet Boy.
I was going to say.
My niece had a crush on the young man when they were about the same age.
I see.
They're still about the same age, but
so she's not aging at a faster rate than he is, or vice versa?
Nor slower, no.
I see. All right.
And then there's Kelly Osbourne. She's a singer, as I put her down as a singer.
If you want to call it that.
She's a warbler.
She has singing in her DNA.
Sure.
Yeah, and she's 24.
Oh, the road alone, yeah.
And then there's Ashley Hamilton, son of George. He's an actor.
I hope he introduces himself like that. Hi, I'm Ashley Hamilton, son of George.
He's an actor, huh?
The actor and a comedian, I guess it said.
Probably as much of an actor as I am, I guess.
But he's 34. I mean, gee.
Oh, no chance for him.
I mean, George must have been pretty old when he had him.
Well, George
34,
yeah.
Like saying if George was 20 when he was born, you know what I mean?
Sure, we know what you mean.
That would make him 54, and I'm sure he's older than that.
Yeah. Sometimes people wait a while to have youngsters.
Yeah, well, sometimes they...
What's the hurry? And George Hamilton, by the way, is still a dashing man.
Yeah, I guess. And but some guys, like the guy on Family Feud, he's got remarried and married a real young gal, and he has a little baby, and he's not young.
Well, it's okay to go to a graduation at 85.
Tony Randall from The Odd Couple had a child when he was in his 80s.
I remember that.
Yeah.
You just want to bring someone else onto the earth.
And then leave.
Yeah, and then forget your other ones.
You gotta make room.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
I had this whole parenting thing wrong.
Yeah.
Well, it used to be that, a guy could just dump his wife and whatever kids and go do what he wanted to, not support them, but now it's different.
Now it's different. Sucks for us guys now.
What a bummer.
What do you mean, what a bummer?
Well, just hypothetically. Go on, Granny. What's next?
Then there's Joanne Krupa. She's a model. She's 30.
I don't even want to know.
What was that?
I don't know. Go on.
And then the last one is Melissa Hart. She's an actress and stars on Wish List. She's 33.
What an eclectic
Melissa
crew.
Hart is 33?
Yeah.
Wow.
An eclectic crew here on the new season of Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, and it's really a different variety of ages.
It really is.
Yeah,
it is a wide variety of ages and also disciplines.
And I predict that politician won't last very long.
Well, he's got age going against him, Granny.
Well, that isn't a whole thing. He's just a big crook.
But perhaps he's wily.
Well, and he's got the gal that she's one of them that's won quite a few times, so I bet she was upset when she had to go with him.
Sure. Now, Granny, we've had you on for a while here. Let's do a couple of the questions before we have to wrap it up.
Oh, okay. You don't give me much time, do you? Okay, one thing Sylvia wants to know, in this wrestling, why did they let that guy beat Batista so bad?
Why did they let him beat Batista so bad?
Yeah, I mean, isn't there rules that you tell each other what you're going to do, and it's all fake and everything, and you don't go out there and just kill the guy?
What does Sylvia think happened?
Well, he got really hurt bad.
Well, he was hurt before, and they did that to explain why he was going to be gone to get surgery.
Oh, so he didn't actually get hurt that bad?
No, Granny. They worked you.
Yeah, that was fake.
Oh, and I heard he was going to SmackDown?
Yes, he's going to SmackDown now.
Oh, okay. One other question.
Yeah.
That Marysville Wrestling, you were talking something about...
Tulalip, yes.
What's happening there?
Bunch of geeks.
Vinny, come on. We had fun at the last one.
We had a ball.
Well, not a whole lot.
When was that?
It was a few weeks back. There's another one coming up next Saturday. Not this Saturday, the Saturday after.
Yeah.
And then they've got another one coming up in early October that I'm going to be going to.
Well, you be sure and let us know, because Sylvia and I want to go.
All right, we'll let you know. You can head out to that one when we head out there, and make sure you have money for a ticket. And because I'm not going to be wrestling on the show, most likely.
We don't mind. We'll pay.
All right. Well, great.
They pay not to see you.
I will let you know then. They do
All
not.
Right, good.
Will you pay double if I were on the card, Granny?
Will I do what?
Will you pay double if I'm on the card?
You mean 20 instead of 10?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want you to wrestle anymore.
I rest my case.
All right. Let's get on to the questions.
Okay.
Come on, Granny. I got so much raw talent.
Somebody wanted to know if
Just blew me off.
If we ever washed out your mouth for using naughty words.
If you ever washed it out?
Washed out your mouth.
Washed it out? Did you?
No.
Of course not, because I'd never swear.
I had that done to me.
Oh, my gosh.
Never did when I was young.
I know. You were such a goody two-shoes until you turned 30.
I told y'all. I told everyone. No one believes that, Granny, but thank you for confirming.
It is. You wouldn't even take an aspirin, and you were just a... Really
what are you insinuating? Next
really
question.
Next question. No, I'm not talking about you taking drugs or anything.
Okay.
They wanted to know if I ever rode a motorcycle. I have. And,
you rode a motorcycle?
I rode on one.
Yeah?
We used to have one, and with my husband on there, lucky I am alive.
I presume, Granny, you never wore a helmet on this motorcycle.
No, and one time we were going down the road, and my glasses, the glass part was kind of loose, and it fell out, and I just grabbed it as it landed on my knee.
My God. Such craziness, Granny.
I know.
All right, what's next?
Okay, they wanted to know what my biggest injury was, and now all I have in my whole life was broke my foot.
Really?
I bet that was bad, though.
That explains why I am also so durable.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. I've been so fortunate.
Yeah.
And then...
Good genetics I've got.
They want to know how I first met Sylvia.
Yeah?
It was after Terry passed away. I went to counseling at the senior center.
I think you said this.
She came there, and her problem was this guy lived with her for about 14 years or something, and one morning he got up and says, I'm out of here.
I do remember the story.
Bad times.
We felt horrible about bringing it up in the air.
I hate to laugh, but bad times.
Yeah, and then her daughter got mad at her, and she didn't know where she was at, and for a long, long time.
Yeah. Now, Granny, let me ask you this question, because it reminded me when you talked about how durable you are. You are almost 80 years old. You got about a month left. Till you're 80.
That sounded bad.
Till you're 80. Now, Granny, I was listening to a show the other day about diet, and this guy was extolling the virtues of a vegan diet. How you should not eat animal products, and you should only eat vegetables and fruits, and not eat any bacon, for example, or high-fat foods. And you have never abided by any sort of diet, Granny. You've eaten a lot of bacon and eggs and sausage, and you're still kicking at 80.
I know. I couldn't live if I didn't have some meat to eat.
Yeah, eggs?
Yeah, I just had a couple of scrambled eggs a little while ago because didn't hardly have any dinner.
Got a deep fryer, the garage sale?
No, but I got a slow cooker.
Okay, well, that's close enough. Close enough. All right,
Brian.
Just to each his own, you know? To each his own. Some people can just eat, quite frankly, crummy food their whole life and be just fine. Some people clogs the arteries and they die. Just everyone's different.
Well, I don't eat a lot at one time.
Sure.
If that makes, that might help.
And you exercise, Granny.
Yeah, in fact, I've been riding my bike and
Good.
And I worked outside for 2-3 hours today.
Granny, you gotta whip yourself into shape if you're gonna be going to Vegas at age 80.
I know.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, are you gonna put my picture of my deck on
I'll
there?
do that at some point, yes.
Oh, okay.
All right, Granny, you got time for 2 more questions. Go for it.
2 more. Oh, let me see. What was the better? They wanted to know who I liked better, John Wayne or I forget who that was. Anyway, I like John Wayne better. I didn't write...
John Wayne or that guy who you don't remember?
Roy Rogers?
No. I can't remember right now. My mind goes...
Clint Eastwood?
Yeah, that's him.
Now, see how good I am, everybody?
I like John Wayne better.
Well, it's the wrong answer, but that's okay. And your last one.
Okay, they keep asking me questions about the top of my house.
You're not foolish enough to fall for that one.
No, I'm not answering any questions that they ask me anything about the top of my house.
All right.
Okay, and they want favorite memories of the board. It'd have to be the Dave Meltzer leather jacket one.
That is the best one there's ever been on that board.
I know. It's been so much fun.
It is quite awesome. All right, Granny. Well, we got to save some for next week, and next week we'll get the Dancing with the Stars report, as it actually is going to start. So, yeah, have fun this week, and we will talk to you very soon.
Okay, and I'll let you know if I have to change my phone number.
All right, well, sounds good.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. One thing after another with Granny. One thing after another. Granny, we are here to talk Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. How'd you like the first week?
Well, I'm telling you, 3 days, I almost hated it.
Off to a great start.
Uh-oh. Why is that?
Well, it's just too long, and, I don't really care that much for any of those people this time.
Really? You're not a big fan of Chuck Liddell?
Well, guess who I like the most?
Chuck Liddell.
No.
Oh.
He only got 16 points out of 50, and I don't think he's going to make it very much longer.
That doesn't sound like he's doing very well.
You know what's funny? I gotta ask you a question, Granny.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I did the daily update on Tuesday, and I was looking for information on Chuck Liddell, and I went to Yahoo.com, which had a big story on Dancing with the Stars, and they said that Chuck finished with 22 points. This is what I put in the daily update. And then Dave emailed me, and he said, no, he only got 16 points.
That's right. He only got 16.
Yahoo News said 22.
I don't know what's the matter with Yahoo. They did have, it's possible, because the second group that danced, they gave him some points, too, but I didn't keep track of those.
Yeah, I think that they added those points together, so Chuck actually finished with 22.
Well, let's see, 16 from 22 is what?
6.
6?
Yes.
So that's very likely that that's what Chuck Liddell scored.
It's possible. It's possible, but you know who I like the best?
Who do you like the best?
Kelly Osbourne.
Really? Really?
She is so cute. I'd never seen her before, and she's got the nicest personality.
Wow.
Kelly Osbourne, you say?
Yeah. And my favorite other one is the skateboarder. Let's see, what's his name?
We won't know it anyway.
Yeah.
We're too old.
You're too...
I'm totally serious about this one. We are too old to know pro skateboarders.
Louis Vito. He's not...
Don't know him.
Louis Vuitton? I didn't know he was a skateboarder.
No, Vito.
Oh, Vito. Okay.
Yeah, Vito.
How was Tom DeLay?
Oh, he creep.
He what?
He should be the one to go. Let's see what he got for...
She called him a creep.
He only got 16 points.
Oh, so he did much worse than Chuck.
Well, no.
He did the same as Chuck.
Well, same.
Chuck got 22, but sure, I understand.
Well,
Did you forget the first part of this conversation already?
No, I thought she said 18.
I see.
Well, I'm sure that Tom didn't get extra points, though. So.
I guess it would be 16 plus 6 is 22. So anyway, tell us about the show, Granny. Let's get this over with, and then we'll get into the Q&A. Do you ever want to watch it again? Who's going to be cut this week?
Well, Ashley Hamilton got it first.
Oh, so someone already has been cut.
Oh, yeah, 2 of them got cut.
This is the son of George Hamilton?
Okay, hang on. I'm confused about how the show works now. How many episodes a week are there?
Well, there's from now on there'll only be two nights.
That's still a lot.
But it was how many nights this week? 4?
3.
3, okay.
Wow, no wonder you're so tired of it.
So the son of George Hamilton got axed.
Well, and I looked up something on him. Do you know that he was married twice, and the first time he was only married, where am I looking here? First time he was married 86 days, and the second time he was only married at 195 days.
So 2 marriages are combined less than a year.
Yeah.
About 8 months of marriage there.
So he almost achieved the same score on Dancing with the Stars as Days Married.
Yes.
Well, and he was chosen one of the 50 most beautiful men. I mean, he was weird.
So, do you think he was beautiful?
I didn't really like him.
All right.
Should I have replaced him on the list, Granny?
Yeah, I guess.
Have you seen his hair lately, Granny?
Yeah, I guess you should, my grandmother said.
Yeah, Vinny,
Thanks, Granny.
I don't really like Bryan's hair the way he's wearing it now, but that's okay.
Granny, what are you talking about? I just had it pulled back in a ponytail the other day.
I know, that's why I didn't like it.
What do you want me to do with it? Spike it?
No, I like your hair just nice and soft.
It's still soft in a ponytail. Should I cut it off? What do you want me to do, Granny?
Because it looked flat on top.
So you liked it better when it was cornrowed?
Whatever.
Let's move on with this program.
Yeah.
Just find a picture
Your
of
own granny doesn't think you should be in the 50 most beautiful people. Something's wrong.
Just find a picture of your grandfather on your grandmother's wedding day and cut your hair exactly like that.
Well, Bryan would probably be 1 in 25 instead of 50.
That's right, Granny. Granny trying to save face here.
I got to make up for something.
You sure do now. All right, what other show notes do we have before we get to the Q&A here?
What do you mean show notes?
Any other notes from Dancing with the Stars that we were talking about here moments ago?
Well, let me see here.
Is Dave on the line?
Huh?
Never mind. Go ahead.
I didn't hardly like any of the women, but I have a feeling on Macy Gray, the one that got the gal that got kicked off. I think she was pretty temperamental, and I don't think she got along with her dancing partner.
Well, that'll usually cause some problems.
Indeed.
Yeah.
You're leaning on that person after all.
Yeah.
I have an impression that might have been partly why she went.
Well, it's like wrestling. You need to get along with your partner, otherwise they're going to drop you on your head.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So, do you expect Chuck Liddell to go far, or do you think he's next to be eliminated?
Not very good. I don't think so. I mean, all these younger guys are gonna beat him like that. Aaron Carter,
who again,
Backstreet Boys, he came in first.
Professional musician seems unfair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like all the younger guys, the 4 top ones were all the younger ones.
Well, us young guys move better.
But Donny Osmond was third, and I'm waiting for him to get booted. Him and
Tom DeLay.
Yeah, I want those 2 out.
Yeah, maybe they'll be eliminated together.
Well, in fact, they gave Donnie a bad time because they said you were being a showman and you're out here to dance. You're not out here to be a showman. So
what?
They kind of.
Granny, that's ridiculous. Because I've watched a couple of these shows, and if you don't show anything, they'll tell you you're supposed to be more of a showman.
No, not the way he was.
He was a ham?
Yeah, sort of. So.
Now,
have you seen Donny Osmond?
Is it possible that they could have Donny Osmond and Tom DeLay dance together?
That would be funny for 1,000 different reasons.
And somebody asked me that Adam Carolla was on.
Yeah.
And I really liked that because he came in and did a kind of a skit with each of the guys.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun.
He's a funny guy.
He's a very talented man.
Yeah, and it kind of took some of the, bad parts away from it, so it made it kind of interesting.
Has the Reverend Al Sharpton ever been on Dancing with the Stars, just out of curiosity?
Are you kidding?
Well, he's going to host Raw.
You what?
He's going to co-host Monday Night Raw.
You're kidding.
No, this Monday.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Silvio would love that one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, she will. All right, Granny, let's do some Q&As here.
Okay. Somebody wanted to know what I remember about Mount St. Helens eruption. I remember it was on a Sunday morning.
I was on a boat with you guys, wasn't I?
No, you guys were on your way to Blackfoot, Idaho.
Oh, were we?
Yeah, because I remember I lent your mom and dad my car, and I think because you had a pickup or something, it didn't have enough room, and you were on your way back when the
Mexicans.
I was going to say.
So I was afraid that the ashes were going to get into my engine and ruin my car.
Really?
Valid concern.
Yeah, I could have sworn we were out on a boat that day. Maybe it was another natural disaster in the early 80s. I was only 5,
yeah,
so...
I have no recollection of the actual eruption, but I remember a lot of the aftermath.
Sure.
News coverage and...
I don't even remember that.
Brian, when were you ever out on a boat?
I've been on a boat
in
before.
your life.
I'm a seafarer. Come on. Just because I don't do it often. What's the next question, just out of curiosity?
What kind of boat? I've never heard of you being on a boat.
Oh, a yacht.
When?
I don't know what kind of boat. One that floated.
Been on a ferry?
I've been kayaking. I've been on a boat. I've been on a speedboat. I've been on a boat before.
Wait, and not only that, you've been on a small plane, too, remember?
That I've blocked out of my mind. That will not be happening again.
That you were you were very young then, weren't you?
Exactly. They tricked me.
You were only about 2 or 3 at the time.
God, child abuse.
I've been in a helicopter.
Oh.
I love helicopters. I'd like to ride in one.
Well, Granny, time's running out.
What, a helicopter's going to go away?
If you're going to go, Granny, you better go soon, because I don't know, That
Granny.
came out poorly, didn't it?
What are you talking about?
Let's move on to the next question.
Fool.
They wanted to know if I went on a vacation for a year, who would I pick to watch my house? Bryan, Vinny, or Dave? I don't think I'd let any of you watch my
Now,
house.
hang on.
I was going to say the answer is Vinny.
Yes, I'm currently watching a house and doing a fine job.
That's right, you are.
Yes, I'm doing lawn upkeep and maintenance. I am making sure the car runs. I am keeping things clean and organized. I'm a very good house sitter.
And you don't have to pay rent, do you?
Not often, no.
That means never.
Well, that's good, though.
Yeah. It's quite a scam.
It's no one's complaining.
Yeah. What's next, Granny?
Okay, another one wanted to know, since I'm in my 70s, if I feel like just sitting down and drinking and never stopping.
Okay. That has nothing to do with being in your 70s.
Vinny feels like that today.
I actually felt like that long before I started drinking.
Yeah.
Well, I love my life, and I, make the best of my days, and I stay busy, and
Sure.
I'm just like everybody else, my days are, anybody could die if they're not 70.
That's true, Granny. She sounded exactly like Clint Eastwood in Unforgiven. I'm just like everybody else.
Yeah, so, it doesn't matter how old you are, you still feel young.
Not everybody, Granny. Vince doesn't.
Can. Yeah.
Vince feels older than you right now.
Why?
Life.
Oh,
I don't know. Why are you asking me? Ask him.
You gotta make the best of it.
You got to make the best of it, Vinny.
I'll work on that.
All right. What's next, Granny?
Okay, and I wanted to know the maddest I ever got at you.
Never.
I'm always mad at you.
What?
I'm just kidding.
I was going to say about 5 minutes ago when you talked about riding a helicopter.
No, I'm just kidding. I thought I'd put that in there for those guys to have fun with.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
Hilarious.
I can't remember ever getting really angry at you.
Never. I'm always an angel.
Did you ever have to beat him?
No, because his mom wouldn't have put up with my hitting him.
Oh, otherwise you would have done?
I don't think I don't think he ever was bad anywhere. We went restaurants and stuff, and he was always good.
Tell people this all the time, and they think I'm lying.
Oh, you were a good kid.
Yes, I was. All right, let's do 2 more, Granny. What happens when I met her? 2 more, Granny.
They wanted to know which went first, my hearing or my sight. I don't wear glasses.
I was going to say your taste. Your taste.
I don't wear hearing aids, and I only wear my glasses to drive. So that should answer your question.
So they're all.
Sight, then.
Yeah, they're all in great condition. You're saying.
Yep.
All right, let's do one more good one.
Okay. I don't have any more good ones. So.
Let's do one more bad one.
Okay. I only have one left, I think. That's, they wanted to know what my favorite, Pat Swayze movie was.
Patrick Swayze.
I like Pat Swayze.
Well, I think I saw Dirty Dancing. I can't remember.
It's quite a while ago, Granny.
Yeah.
When When's the last time you went to the movie theater to see a movie?
When's the last time?
Yeah. Didn't you and I go to a movie once?
You and I and your friend, what's his name?
Yahtzee?
Yahtzee, yeah.
Yeah, we went one time, and then the last time I went was
What the hell did we see together?
I can't remember, but the last time I went to a movie I took Nikki, and there was a movie, I forget who the actor was in it, but he was a doctor, and he was forever under the sheets, if you know what I mean.
Oh.
And at the very last scene, they showed this Indian woman having a baby right on and that's the last time I went to a movie.
Well.
That's been a long time ago.
I guess so. I am still racking my brain at what movie you, me, and Yeti could have possibly gone to.
I don't have any idea.
I have no earthly idea. Wow. Well, I'll have to think about this one.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Decades, it seems.
Yeah.
All right, Granny. Well, make sure you, we'll make sure the mailbag thread is still up on the board so people can ask you questions, and we'll get some more next week, and we'll get the update on Dancing with the Stars and find out if Chuck has been, chucked.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All righty.
All right, Granny. We'll talk to you in a little while.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I just, for the life of me, cannot even imagine what
It
movie...
is a quandary.
What movie that could have possibly been.
I don't think there's ever been a movie where I thought, you know who should go see that is Bryan and Yeti and Granny.
I was trying to think why me and Granny would have ever gone to a movie
that's
together.
a good start, actually.
Much less adding... It's baffling. Just baffling to me.
These are the things I can do without. Come on, I'm talking to you. Come on.
This is from Devol Biug. He actually gave me some pronunciation here, so I wouldn't screw it up.
How does he like it now? Devol Biug?
Devol Biug.
I see.
Yeah, that's what he says. I'd like to start my free shout-out off by wishing Buddy Wayne the best of luck with the surgery, and hopefully his recovery will be as short and painless as possible. Well, it will not be short or painless, but it will be a recovery. Yes. So, good luck to Buddy.
Saw Buddy tonight. He's in good spirits.
You actually went out there?
Right before I came over here, yes.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah, he gave you a shout-out on the show for being a prick.
Uh-oh.
He said he wanted to thank everybody for all the kind well wishes, especially you and Craig, who hadn't sent him a single email.
Well, I went out there today.
That's good.
So I'm off the shit list.
Cross-eyed female came up to me yesterday and said hi, and she proceeded to give me a hand job. I was in an awkward position and didn't like her, so I asked her what it's like only having one working eye. This put an end to her terrorism. I laughed, but I died a little inside, knowing Perry Saturn's daughter may have tried to give me sexual favors. What?
Let's just move on.
I'd like to say, well done, Rovert Iamo version 1.
Well, there you go. That explains a lot right there.
Pingu Girl for portraying some great internet gimmicks that will be of no use in the real fucking world. Fuck offs to you cross-eyed whores. Irish Weather. Art Bell for giving George Noory a job. And obesity-suffering men who do shitty blog talk radio podcasts that 4 people listen to. Kid Zombie and all angry Mark's associates. Wow. Dave Meltzer needs to own more retarded callers on Observer Radio. Thanks, Bryan and Vinny. There's something like a shout-out that starts off so nice and then erupts into abject hatred and then finishes on a happy note.
Yes. You know, in my defense, the only reason I know Buddy's going in for surgery is because I happened to read one of the Buddy show threads. No one told me.
We've only been talking about it on the website for, like, weeks now.
Yeah, on the Buddy shows.
Yeah.
You and I never talked about it. No one told me.
I'm almost positive I told you he was in the hospital.
I knew he had an infection. I don't know he was going in for this.
All right, this is from John. I was wondering if you'd give me the shout-out I asked for on the 5th of August. As a subscriber, I noticed this was a possibility. Maybe we can get back to me about it. All right. Shout-out. Just want to say a big shout-out to Dr. John Wonderl and all the wrestling fans in the UK, especially those fans in his further maths classes. People like Jeff Hardy's #1 fan, Miss Christiane Straker, I've been a fan since around WrestleMania 8 and joined up to the newsletter full-time as a member recently, so looking forward to spreading the word and making sure there are less free rollers. Best match witnessed live is Angle versus Michaels at WrestleMania 21. I'll say.
Yeah.
Favorite wrestler is definitely Shawn Michaels. Boy, can he work. Again, I'll say.
New and divergent opinion.
Thanks a lot and take care. Bryan, Dave, Vinny, and everyone associated with F4W. Peace. That was another good shout-out.
You know, he can work.
You know, Shawn Michaels can work.
He's a good wrestler.
He is quite a wrestler, I would say. Yeah, he's up there on my list of favorite wrestlers, too, I do have to admit.
He's better than Mark Henry.
Depends. Don't tell the DVD-VR guys that. They pitch a fit. And that is it for the shout-outs for today, everybody.
That was it.
Yeah, I'm joking. I just wanted to see Macho Bullshit.
Yeah, I see.
All right, let me read it for you. I should just read his real name so you could all laugh.
It's not Macho Bullshit?
No.
That's disappointing.
Brian, I paid my $5 for this shout-out. Here is my shout-out. It's like an anchor shout-out. My dear friends, Brian and Vince, it is I, Macho Bullshit, and I want to advertise my new album that I released on The Board. My music name is Bacon Ears, and the album is called The Grain Pure Stevedore. It is sample-based, mashup, experimental hip-hop, and many people on the board and my friends have really enjoyed it. You can download it at tinyurl.com/baconears, or visit my MySpace page at myspace.com/baconearsmusic. Also, if you want to donate money, PayPal me. And he gives a PayPal address, and I'm going to read it. But, guys, simple business tip. Make things easier. The address is noodle@sbcglobal.net with the second O a 0. Got that, everybody? I printed up a bunch of cool sleeves, but ran out now. That shit was expensive, and I'm like $100 in the red. Rock and roll forever and don't stop believing. P.S. Even though Rabies is easily the weakest member of Team Real Deal, he told me he really liked my music. So there you go, everybody. Check it out. tinyurl.com/baconears or myspace.com/baconearsmusic. What do you think? Should we see if there's a song?
Oh, why not?
We'll check it out real quick. You knew I was going to do this, too. He worked me.
Sample-based hip-hop is not going to...
It's not your thing?
No, we'll see. Although I guess all the drops are sample-based hip-hop, aren't they?
He's blurred out his face on here.
That's not very macho. It is bullshit, though.
Let's see. Some of the songs. Andy Kaufman reads The Great Gatsby by Bacon Ears. Let's play it. Where's Andy Kaufman?
I don't know.
It's not half bad.
That's sort of cool.
That's not too bad. I'm gonna play one more here, only because he's got a player here, and there are 3 songs that have gotten 0 plays, and I want to play one of them.
What are the titles we can choose from?
Well, there's D'Angelo Barksdale Part 2.
Well, we didn't see Part 1, so that's out.
There's Part 2, and then there's Part something. Oh, wait, there appear to be more here. Old School Storytelling Shit, Song for Asia, and The Grain Pier. Those have all been played. All right, let's play Part something, which has never been played before.
Okay, this is cool already.
isn't he making songs for us? If I were a weed smoker,
I was just thinking that.
now would be the time.
This is music to get high to. And I don't do that myself, but I am lazy.
There you go, everybody. That
was a cool song.
Yeah.
Macho bullshit. I apologize for prejudging you.
I do as well. I am very impressed. MySpace.com/BaconEarsMusic. Everybody head over there and support Macho Bullshit, who thankfully is not using that name in his band, because
why his decision?
that would cause some problems as far as trying to get this to a larger audience. So